Just got the error message on YouTube, which means everything is fine. We are live and wired. Thank you very much. At least I'm working on that second part. So getting the chat box all set up over here. Okay, that looks good. That looks fine. Please tell me that okay. Okay. I gotta press play on that. I hope I gotta mute that. Because I know how Africa TV works. You have to be playing the stream for the chat to appear.
Yes.
And if I'm doing that, it's gonna be coming through here, so I gotta... Sling Blade Sally is a new member. Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, it seems to be working, kinda. I'm just worried that it's gonna... have to be... There we go. The chat to mute. Right. There we go. I shut myself up, because I am so annoying. So, welcome, everyone, to Live and Wired, episode 55, New Year! New horrors. Joining, we have been blessed by the gods, Patricia Miranda.
Hi, everyone. And happy anniversary to Live and Wired. We've been doing this for 2 years now.
Oh, yeah, I think we've only missed, one episode, but we've also been doing the Stephen King drinking game, which has added episodes onto it, so I think we're in the black here.
Yeah.
So, and of course, that long-haired creepy guy, otherwise known as the man who always comes up with the new rules for the Stephen King drinking game. So yes, we have a lovely little show for you today. Over on D Live, Kentucky Boy 88 says, "Hello, sexy." I'm going to roll a four-sided die to figure out which one of us is talking about, or the jar.
Yeah.
Might be the jar.
It could be the jar.
Okay. Ask Wishmaster to come with another movie for 2020. What? On Facebook.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh, he's on. Okay. Maybe the actor?
Which actor? Because if it's the actor from 1 and 2, hell yes. The actors from 3 or 4, hell no.
I don't know. Maybe it's a fan page. I don't know.
Possibly. But yeah, it's been a lovely day. And
Indian Hill 95 is a new member, so thank you.
Awesome.
Welcome. Thank you very much. But yeah, this is now not new horrors synaptic, new horrors with an H and 2 R's and 2 more R's or 1 more R. I know how to spell horror.
Well, this is his go-to movie, and he's stumbling over the spelling.
But you might have noticed things are a little bit different here. I don't know. You can't really see it from your angle, I guess, but you can kind of hear it. I mean, I got my headset on and I'm actually using this microphone instead of my big one because I found out one problem with it was the fact that the phantom power was dead.
Ooh.
But interestingly enough, it doesn't actually need power to still work as just a sort of plug from... It was pretty much just like plugging my big microphone directly into the motherboard, but without the phantom power and without all of the stuff to actually clean up the sound, it wasn't sounding very good. But yeah, I got the new computer, actually. Really,
that's good for you, man.
Really nice. And of course, if I talk about exactly what it's made of, it doesn't matter how much I like what it's made of. There's always people who don't like this component or that component or this company or that company and have their preference and will say that it should have been made like that. And I can say right now, I have absolutely no regrets on how this has been put together, with one exception. And it's a thing that no one ever said anything about, as to when you're making a computer, when you're building your own computer, you should really think a lot about this particular component. No one I have ever recalled saying anything remotely about that kind of thing. That would be the case.
Oh,
the computer case is a little bit snug, and considering this is a Asus ROG Strix gaming some odd motherboard with big frickin' heat sinks on it, and I have the smallest of all liquid coolers, a 120mm radiator. trying to fit those two things together in this case was extremely damn hard. I eventually got it to work simply by not installing a little fan on one of the heat sinks on the motherboard. Otherwise it wouldn't fit, or I'd have to remove the SATA drives, the SATA bays, on the bottom of the case and use the bottom ventilation port for the radiator, which is not recommended, but that was kind of the situation I was in. It was like, I have to fit this damn thing somewhere. It needs to cool the CPU. It's an i9-9900K. God damn it, it needs to work. So, yeah, it's very nice, and I am very thankful to my fiancée for footing the bill for that.
That's very good. I'm glad to hear that.
That was my Christmas right there. Case was way too big for your board, Padak? Well, I mean, it's not... I would think that's not as big of a problem, but then again, I don't know exactly what problems you run into with that. I'd assume it's like, oh, I have all this room, but now I'm thinking, wait, what if the cables from the power supply don't frickin' reach the motherboard? Like, that's the problem right there. That would be... Put a fan on it. Well, I figured the radiator is right there by the heatsink, so it's got the flow there, so it's probably working a bit like that. Also, I have room for a 120mm fan on the back that I still need to put on. But, right now it's just kind of passively pushing air out, because all the other fans push air into the case, so.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the first time I've ever built a computer. I've wanted to build a computer my whole frickin' life, just about. And I'm 36. So, it's been a while. I've been sitting there like, man, I really want to build me a computer one of these days.
Yes, in the old days, we used to do it with old-fangled bubble gum and paper clips.
Blow on it. Maybe Kentucky. Yeah, I could. There's no fan on the back there. I could lean down there and just, if I see the temperature gauge on the little monitor getting a little high, I could just lean down and
blow on it like it's an old NES cartridge, which was, as it turns out, not actually a good thing to do to NES cartridges.
What's a little corrosion between friends?
The rest means that we're all joining together.
Right.
Maria Dandridge 3 on Periscope says, "Hi, love your videos. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Please review Godzilla King of the Monsters, please," says Best Godzilla Gamer. Yeah, that is one that we have to get to, because if we don't, everyone's going to track us down and murder us. Such as if we don't actually get to any kind of the topics of today's particular episode of Live and Wired. It took too long getting it started. We gotta hop to it.
Yes, we do.
Sorry about that. I'm using new computer, new installations of everything. Instead of OBS, I'm using Streamlabs OBS, which has some things integrated, which is nice. But at the same time, when I went to go live, it wasn't going to restream. I'm like, oh crap! So yeah, that was the delay right there.
Perfectly normal thing happening.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, it happens all the time.
So,
all right.
Every day.
So we got like New Year. People always love to reinvent themselves, do a little renovation, do those New Year's resolutions. We discussed that on one of the years of Live and Wired. I resolved that I was not going to drink as much. Completely failed, but that was my resolution.
I don't remember what it was that I resolved to do.
We did. I remember one of the things that was like the vote for what would be nice for Live and Wired to be better production value than just the basic little stuff we had going on with what's the words? I'm trying to use so many things to stretch out the sentence.
It wouldn't be the same as it is now.
And I'm not coming up with the words. Like the Google Hangouts live stream was nice, but incredibly basic. And we wanted Live and Wired to be bigger and better. And with a move away from Hangouts, we got on Discord, and just the opportunity came up, so a whole bunch of things were added. We got the chat box right here. We got the tip jar right there. We got the alert box. It's beautiful. We got 2,000 Huff. Thank you very much, Karmagen.
Thank you.
They said Godzilla King of the Monsters review requires creepy, 'cause Mothra, or Mosura?
Masuda. Yeah. Masuda. Okay.
So that was 3 diamonds dropping down into the jar. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's actually out. It's crushing those demonetization symbols now. That's what I like to see. John Ratsey says, "Death to Mothra." Them's fighting words are creepy. Creepy gonna come through your wall now. I don't know if you want this.
Right.
But yes, as always talks about renovations, like reinventing yourself, and there is a certain show about that that's been around for a while. They get old, rundown houses, and they just kind of fix them up, and there's house flippers. It's what you do. It's a career choice, and it can be adventurous, so it makes for a TV show that can be entertaining. Find out what new stuff they're going to have to deal with and how they can make a profit out of it. Well, they're taking that concept, and they're not so much flipping it on its head as much as saying, hey, getting these houses is nice and adventurous and all, but what if we specifically got houses that had a lot of kind of adventurous elements into them, like maybe ones where people got killed in? Get some haunted houses up in this. Let's flip that shit. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah. Were you one of those people? Do you know somebody who loves HGTV? Somebody who loves Fixer Upper, and you always were into those kind of shows where people would like get rundown homes and then fix them up and make them brand new with like nice furniture, maybe add in an additional room, put in some modern amenities into some old outdated designs. Well, let's put that into a haunted house. And yes, this will be a thing. So let's take a look to see what we're referring to. In this one, the show is going to be called Murder House Flip, as announced on the Today website. Every once in a while, a new show taps into something we didn't know we wanted or needed. And then we have to wonder, why didn't anybody think of this sooner? A new and totally unconventional series is called Murder House Flip. It's coming soon, and it's exactly what it sounds like.
Demonetization symbols. Sorry.
I know. So, it's a home makeover show that takes on houses where a murder happened. Kind of creepy, but also very intriguing. So, would you live in a murder house?
Even if Toby Kirkby says, I will watch the ever-loving fuck out of that! Bill Cage 32 says that this sounds stupidly genius.
We are thrilled to bring this one-of-a-kind series to life and dive into a world that combines America's 2 biggest obsessions on TV, true crime and home renovation, says Elise Cedar, Senior Vice President of Alternative and Syndicated Programming for Sony Pictures Television, in a press release issued to Today Home. And we have $20 from Savage Tiger 13, says, New Year's, new resolutions. Like, I'm going to try to be less perverted this year. What? It's a manga cartoon, breasts don't count.
They don't?
I don't know.
Yeah, Patricia, they're like, keep telling yourself that, Decker.
Pretty much.
The show, coming from CSI producer Josh Berman, Penny Dreadful producer Chris King, and author Catherine Ramsland, will appear on the mobile streaming service Quibi, which launches in April, which is the same streaming service that we talked about a few weeks ago that will be having the Legends of the Hidden Temple revival, the one that's going to feature adults and is going to have the prizes like, trips and cars and all that stuff. The one that's going to be started by John Lasseter. Not John Lasseter. Why did I say John Lasseter? That's awful. Oh my God. I meant to say Jeffrey Katzenberg. There we go. So what can viewers expect from this new home improvement show? A colorful cast of forensic specialists.
We got a slight problem in the living room. There's not too many people living in it anymore.
Spiritual healers and high-end renovation experts, according to the press release. They'll uncover the crimes, shocking secrets, and scandalous
Grandpa's ashes are all over the rug, and this is not feng shui!
This is a house where an exorcist occurred. I'm going to turn it into my yoga. And as with all home makeover shows, there will be some gritty hard work involved. Although removing bloodstains sounds a little more gruesome than your typical home renovation task, like creating an open layout or adding additional hardwood floor. I know what. But hopefully, as with other home renovation shows, the house will feel brighter and fresher in the end. Berman says the projects will bring healing and solace to families living in the aftermath of tragic events by transforming dark places into healthy spaces.
This old man murdered his entire bridge club and buried them in the backyard. Our renovation specialist turned it into a rock garden.
Oh, God. Another unique aspect about the show is that it'll be released in short form content, meaning each episode will be much quicker than your average HGTV show. QB's content pieces are expected to be no more than 10 minutes long each.
Yeah, I can deal with that, because a lot of these really like to stretch out for time that is completely unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah. Like, this price is not good. I wanted it to be $400,000. Since QB is set to launch in the spring, true crime fans can look forward to tuning into the show they never knew they needed. That is, until now.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, God, big creepy. Oh, God, big me. Oh, God, big creepy again. Okay, right. I know how to work the system. I'm an experienced stream man.
Elias E gave us 2 CHF, saying, "Love the content. Keep it up."
Thank you very much. I think that is Chilean. I think. I'm not entirely certain.
So.
It's so nice to get donations from all over. But then I'm always so confused, and I realize how much of an uncultured swine I am. What's that in dollars?
Speaking of dollars,
he's figuring this out now, everybody. I just want to
I mean, the trip to Japan was a little hint, I guess.
Speaking of dollars, we have a $5 donation.
We had some good McDonald's in Japan, I will say. They have some great McDonald's over there.
Sure.
They do!
Yeah, $5.
Creepy. We gotta bring Patricia to Japan, get her some chicken nuggets. I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
I will say that if we did bring Patricia to Japan with us, the trip would probably go a lot smoother.
Probably. That was our big mistake. We didn't have a Patricia.
Well, to be fair, we didn't exactly. I think. Yeah, I mean, we knew each other, but we weren't like.
We weren't really working together like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. $5 for Motorcycle US said, "I'm afraid the house took the song 'Let the Bodies Hit the Floor' seriously. So kind of garbage bags."
Oh God. Demon Orc on Twitch is asking, "You guys are going back to Japan? Really?" Honestly, I've wanted to, but it's really hard. I know that much better now, and life has caught up with me, and I have a lot more responsibilities now, which means even though the channel is doing a lot better, I don't have free Japan money to go with that.
Right.
Free Japan money. Decker is inventing new terms.
Well, I don't know. We had a big fundraiser for it, too, but the point was it went slowly but was still able to accumulate. I really can't do that so much with car payments and rent and all kinds of other expenses.
It's finally happened.
I'm adulting.
I'm an adult.
It is a shame. It is a shame, indeed.
I'm going slightly mad. I'm going slightly mad. It finally happened.
So, point is, want to get back to Japan, don't really want to go back to Japan with less than, say, 15 grand for the trip, and saving 15 grand right now is a bit tough.
Very tough.
Creepy. We'd do a lot better if we had 15 grand, wouldn't we?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to say no to that. Even if it was a big fat lie, I would say, yeah, sure. Yeah, 15 grand, definitely.
Yeah. Diego Barino gave us $2.
Just think of the jacket I could afford.
Diego Bareno says $2 for $2, saying cool.
Nice,
so thank
nice
you.
little animated donation. Thank you very much.
Okay. And everybody else just said, just swim.
Yeah, that was actually how it was supposed to start out. Technically, we had a plan for a little side story to be filmed there. Really didn't have the time or means to do it because of how everything just went tits up. Mm-hmm. But that was supposed to be kind of one of the bits. It just didn't. It never got filmed because it didn't work out that way. Mm-hmm. We were a little too busy trying to find enough places to, keep moving to, means to get rest, food to eat. Like, it was an experience. I feel very sorry for doing that to Creepy.
Right.
Now he does, anyway.
Well, I mean, at the time, I was just like, toughen up, soldier! Actually, no, that was like after I had broken down crying the first day, and you were like, toughen up, soldier!
Yeah. Like, Decker didn't get his second wind until we found our first hotel in Shinosaka. And by that point, I was on, like,
about the 12th wind.
I was like 40. How long did you
God, I remember I was trying to just stay awake. And I was just sitting there trying to play my 3DS to keep myself busy. And I was falling asleep in between turns of the little the little Mii Plaza game where you go through the dungeon and you fight the things. I was getting all the tags because I was in Japan and they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to play it, and I was realizing I was coming out of sleep while still playing, and I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And I think I had been awake for like 36, 40 hours, something like that straight. And we made it up to the hotel room, and I lay down on the bed, and then that is like literally the last thing I remembered for the next 8 hours. Like, it was... I lay down, and then the next thing I knew, it was midnight, and Decker was shaking me like, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, we've got to film. What, where am I?
Oh, God.
I don't know what drugs Decker went out to buy and took while I was still unconscious, but apparently it was the liquid it was like pure, undiluted caffeine. He was like just going for the rest of the night, and I'm like, where is this energy of yours coming from now? After having to literally drag you around town like 2 different towns all day, now you get your wind back.
Okay.
Elias E gave us another 2 CHF saying, Happy New Year, guys. Love from Switzerland. Oh, that's where it's from. Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
And Motorcycle US gave us $2 saying, by the way, guys, I just had my B-day yesterday. I'm 43 now.
Oh,
so happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
It's always convenient when it's like right in the beginning of the year, because then you know in that year exactly what age are you. It's very easy to tell when you're born towards the early half of a year. Towards the latter half, you gotta tend to assume that someone is like 1 year less. But for me, I was born in July. Mm-hmm. So I got to stop and think. I got to look at that date carefully. Like, okay, what age was I at that point? Okay, there I am. But for mentality, it's pretty easy when it's the middle of the year, I guess, because I just spend the first half of the year thinking to myself, well, I'm gonna be 37.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it happens, I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, I'm more or less the same way, because my birth, the month I was born in was the month after Decker's. So like Decker always changes. Decker always like has a birthday, and then I have a birthday, but he's younger than I am. So like when he got his, he finally hit 30, and I get this phone call where he's like has this dead inside voice, and he's like, I turned 30 today, and I'm just like, yeah, welcome to the club. That was me 3 years ago. I wasn't this bad, so get over it.
Yeah, well, when I turned 30, I basically decided to like write a video, like thinking about myself, about like what am I gonna do now? I'm at this point in time. So yeah, I guess mine was a little bit different than the both of you. So I almost broke into an existential crisis between myself, but not in a way in which like it was like, it's all going downhill from here.
Honestly, I didn't mind turning 30 all that much, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that when I was in my 20s, for the most part, I didn't enjoy my 20s all that much. I mean, I won't say that all of it was bad, There were some high points. I'm not going to say that there were none, but overall, my 20s were like, I was like struggling to survive on my own, trying to establish my own independence, and it was just, I had so many false starts and stuff like that by the time I turned 30, instead of feeling depressed, it was more like a case of, well, thank fuck that's over with. I really was. I was just at a point where I realized I was 30 and I was like, okay, I'm surprisingly okay with this, because you know what? My 20s weren't really all that great to begin with.
Just so at some point you just see the number and you're like, well, made it.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just like, I'm looking forward to seeing. And to be honest, if I'm being honest with you, my 30s have been better than my 20s, because I started my review show the next year in late 2011. I was when I started posting reviews for the first time. I started doing that. I started writing more. I started making new friends and so forth. So I'm like, thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, a lot of this stuff wasn't really happening to me in my 20s, so I'm not really sure what it, I'm like, I think I have to say so far the 30s have trumped the 20s by a big margin.
Leading Blind is asking, Patricia and Creepy, will you guys review the original Little Monsters together for them?
Oh my god. Somebody actually requested that I cover something else with you guys?
No, with Creepy specifically.
Oh, with Creepy. Okay.
The two of us specifically.
They already know my opinion. I'm just going to sit there and be like, this is freaky! And they don't want that interrupting everything.
Okay, fair enough.
That'll be. Yeah, I do remember Little Monsters being a movie that was kind of fucked up, though. So
yeah, same here.
Yeah. Then again, it kind of falls into that range of 1980s children's movies where they're rated PG, but the stuff feels more like the sort of thing you would see in an R-rated movie today. So people
yeah.
What the hell was wrong with people back then?
That would be actually a lot of fun, because it's been a while since we've actually did a collaboration.
Not find funny is like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is a PG-13 film. Lots of people are killed in it, but there's a fern in the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If this had been an 80s movie, you would have seen 2 to 3 different dinosaurs grappling with the same corpse and ripping it to pieces.
Right.
Technically, that's what happened to the one guy, like, towards the end. Was it the Allosaurus or the Carnotaurus and the T-Rex tearing the one guy in half? But it was, like, it was dark, kind of in the back, sort of out of focus. Ripped the motherfucker in half and ate his ass, but, yeah.
Right. All right, let's go over to our next bit of news. How many articles we covered in 30 minutes?
One. I think we should keep on the theme of like it's the new year, it's the new New Year's resolutions. I kind of started mine back in like November or October. Which one was it?
Yeah.
I can't remember which. Which month was it that Ring Fit Adventure came out?
Wasn't it November?
I want to say it was November.
Yeah, it was probably November.
But yeah, I've been sore as hell ever since, but I also feel a lot better.
Great.
I don't know. It's just it's a really fun game, and it kicks my ass. Something fierce. Just a couple of days ago, I had a fit battle with Abdonis, the Abs Master, and I almost lost. I was just my abs were hurting so damn hard after that. I'm currently on difficulty level 26 out of 30. Wow. So it's not the easiest thing. And I was there, and it was the last move was just a big. He was doing one of his super moves, and when the bosses in Ring Fit Adventure do a super move, you have to do a guard of a certain kind, and you have to hold this guard for a long time to defeat their super move and do a bunch of damage on them instead. So he was there with a bunch of enemies weak to ab attacks, so I'm doing a bunch of stuff with, like, I'm doing the scissor kicks and and all this stuff and working my abs, and my abs are already feeling kind of painful, and then there's like, do a ab rush on that enemy. I'm like, son of a bitch, and so like, okay, I get a bonus attack, but I gotta do this as fast as I can to get as many hits as I can on this guy with using the power of my abs. And I'm there using the power of my abs as much as I can, like, and knock him out. And then it's just Abdonis left, and he's like, here, get ready. I'm like, shit! And it's like, do the forward ring press. So for that, it seems pretty simple. You just sit on the floor, spread your legs wide, put the ring on the ground sideways, and lean forward and push into it. But the ring is pushing your body up, and you have to use your abs to keep pushing your body down.
Right.
And he had you hold it there for a long ass time, and I'm there like, and I'm sweat dripping from my head, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, Charlie, I think I'm gonna lose this one. And she's like, yo, you can do it, keep at it. I'm like, and somehow managed to pull that out. I fell down. I'm like, god damn it. I win. And then Ring's there like, squat and raise up for a victory pose. I'm like, fuck you, I'll do it when I'm ready. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's been my my New Year's resolution that I started early. Get fit, and it's working.
Great. Well, I'm very happy for you.
Excellent.
I've been doing a lot more. I've been doing a lot more walking, and I'm getting in my 10,000 steps.
Nice.
Awesome.
And yeah, I'm maybe even participating in some other activities. I have a membership now, and want to be able to get myself more fit for the year. Motorcycle US gave us $2 saying, "What happened to horror mysteries in movies?" I'm sure that they're out there somewhere. I'm sure you just need to like look for them, like, get past the mainstream stuff. And I'm sure that there probably is an independent film or maybe even a foreign film that might be into that market.
Right.
I just feel like, I do a lot of public domain riffs for like the Patreon monthly reward and the YouTube channel members monthly reward, and on Subscribestar as well. And it's it's the same video for all three platforms, just so everyone knows. It's just the platform is for whatever is more convenient for you. That is why I'm on several different platforms. The content is the same between them all.
Right.
So I do a lot of public domain horror, and I found that horror mysteries are pretty common in like the 30s, 40s, 50s, and one reason why you probably don't see them anymore is because a lot of them really have the same fucking ending. It's not supernatural, it's mundane. The end.
Okay.
The whole genre really was Scooby-Doo. We'll see who Farmer Joe really is.
Sure. I mean, like Agatha Christie, I guess you could also argue, kind of like popularized it as well with her stories about Hercule Poirot, Murder in the Orient Express. But yeah, Sherlock Holmes,
Right.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So sure. I mean, I think that a lot of people are arguing about like, oh, well, what about The Lighthouse, or what about Knives Out or Doctor Sleep? Which, I'm reading through the chats. It's like, yeah, I guess those would be good, movies to check out if you're wondering about what happened to that genre. But yeah, if any of you guys have any other suggestions, then please post it, and we'll, I'm sure that it'll help this person out.
Right.
All right. So in terms of New Year's resolutions, one thing that people generally don't say, but some of them maybe should, is to be clean.
Yes. We discussed a few months ago about the Xbox body wash. Remember
yes.
that? Oh, that was a thrill.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, gamers out there, wash your asses.
Let's not. Oh my god. Yes, we must be clean. That way we can get out there and get those revenants from them halos or whatever. I don't know the game.
God damn it.
Also, Decker, remember that time several years ago when we had that conversation about gamer when we were reviewing Stay Alive? Stay Alive.
The conversation about gamer what?
Gamer gunk.
Gamer gunk. Oh yes.
Yeah, on controllers.
Yes.
To clarify for anyone listening who may not have understood where this was going, on handheld controller. Yeah.
Yeah, they're held together by nice little, there's several pieces of plastic screwed together, and there's little tiny cracks where you oftentimes hold them. And if you're a dirty motherfucker with sweaty hands, you're holding on to this for a while, it's going to work its way in there, and it's going to fill that, and just coalesce into this disgusting thing.
Yes, this primordial ooze that is seeping in from your epidermis into the controller.
Yeah. Like, there was a scene where a character actually took someone else's controller and licked it.
Yeah,
and Decker was really nice.
No.
But he was more grossed out less grossed out by the fact, someone touched, another person's tongue, and more by the fact that guy just licked off gamer gunk. It's actually, his mouth is most likely cleaner than what was on that controller.
Yes. So if you guys thought that the Xbox body wash was a little bit excessive, no, you haven't seen anything yet. Because if you want to smell as strong as a Microsoft console, but maybe you want to smell something a little bit more zestier. In terms of that, let's talk about the Mountain Dew body wash. Yes, this
Whose
is
turn is this? Whose turn is this?
It's your turn, Creepy.
Okay. It ain't easy being green. Mountain Dew have released their own Mountain Dew body wash blast. Oh, man. Sugary.
Sugary.
I mean, when I walked out the street, I would have smelled like a sticky sugar water that has carbonation in it. It's definitely the fragrance I want.
Exfoliating suds, sir.
Chaos Control Chronicler it says, "What's next, Dorito?" Wait 1 minute. Okay, Creepy, go ahead. Read it off.
Look, we're more solo fans around these here parts, but in the spirit of Christmas, we're willing to concede that maybe, to some people, what we're about to share with you might be appealing. And that is just disturbing to think about. Mountain Dew, the neon green soft drink that has made its way from America to Australia, has released a limited edition body wash that contains actual Mountain Dew.
For the old method of this, the old method was just to go take a shower and in the middle of it just open up a 20-ouncer of Mountain Dew and pour it over your face and just sort of marinate in it.
You know what to wash with? Sugar. So sticky. Best products, because they were really thinking of the most ironic name that they could give themselves. On the release, after a number of journalists at the publication were sent the shower gel.
Oh God, they were sent review copies. Who would actually open it up and see how well it washes them before saying what they think of this?
It all started, says Mountain Dew, when things have gone blurry for some reason. Okay, when some
here, let me increase it for you. There you go.
Enhance.
Okay. So continue, creepy.
Okay, there we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello?
Creepy. I think the news shocked him so much that he disappeared.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess okay. I guess I could finish reading it. So, it all started, say Mountain Dew, when someone photoshopped a picture of what they call
Dew?
Mountain Dew
Okay.
body. Oh, there you are, Creepy.
I think the squirrels are having their fun with his internet cables again.
Ah, that explains a lot. All right. So, okay, go ahead, Creepy.
I see his camera doing a little spinny spin, so I'm not sure if
Oh.
it's. I think he was back for like that.
Testing.
Oh,
There you
there
are.
you are. There you are.
Okay. Sorry about that Wi-Fi hiccup. Okay.
That's okay.
Make it
Continue.
happen is what they said. Oh, man.
Whoa.
What's the matter?
Oh, it's just the text is dancing.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't
Okay.
think it's actually like it's not you, Patricia. I think it's the connection. It's not very great right now. But when
Gotcha.
they say limited edition, they mean it. Only 250 bottles of the wash have been made and sent to friends of Mountain Dew. I feel so incredibly blessed to know this.
They're just going to clear out their friends list in the cruelest way possible.
According to one person lucky or unlucky enough to get their hands on the body wash, it smells exactly like Mountain Dew, which is no surprise because it is actually made of Mountain Dew. Whether or not it ever hits shops or Australia, we don't know. But if this story has piqued your interest, it's probably a good time to remind you that Microsoft released an Xbox-inspired fragrance with links earlier this year, as reported by our friends at Press Start.
And we know
And
about
reported
that.
by Live and Wired. Ha ha! We're on it.
Yes. So let's actually take a look to see what Best Products has to say about the Mountain Dew product. Oh my god. Okay. Mountain Dew just unveiled a body wash that smells exactly like the soda. Oh jeez. All right. So yes, I'm gonna increase it for you, Creep. Okay, there you are.
Thank you. Have your Mountain Dew and bathe in it too. Just
No.
The beloved soda is making its way into your shower. Boy, that sounds creepy. I don't even know how that is so disturbing, but it does sound like a soda escaped from the refrigerator and then is going into the shower with me, Psycho style, complete with Alfred Hitchcock violin. With the new Mountain Dew Body Wash Blast. It sounds like a product that only exists in fantasy, and it was for a while. 2 years ago, Reddit user Whoop-de-Doo posted a Photoshop picture of Mountain Dew Body Wash Blast. It was shown next to Doritos Nacho Cheese Moisturizing Face Wash, which is a whole other story. As you would expect, people were quick to comment how gross and or genius the body wash was, and one even asked, "Is it weird that I want these to be a real thing?" Well, good news, you suck.
I don't know.
Well, we know the flavors of varieties like Maui Burst and Voodoo. The original Mountain Dew flavor is super secretive. It's unlike any other soda on the market. Well, yeah, I mean, put it that way.
Sure.
So no wonder people are committed to the sip. So only the people behind Mountain Dew the drink can make Mountain Dew the scented soap, right?
Okay.
The image was shared across social media, and many of our fans said the same thing. Make it happen. We already knew that. So
Yes.
we did. Or we deny Dew Nation. I am not going to use the phrase Dew Nation, okay? So if that comes up again, I'm skipping over, I'm refusing. The limited edition Mountain Dew Body Wash Blast comes in an 8-ounce bottle with intense citrus and bold kick-ass confidence.
I guess I'm gonna wash up with some Mountain Dew and then confidently go through my day.
I was actually picturing you doing that.
I'm not even talking about the soap. I'm gonna use actual Mountain Dew.
This seems like, you remember those skit videos you used to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems like something that you need to do now. Like, don't even get the body wash. Just get a can of Mountain Dew and take it in the shower with you and make out, and then just say, confidently go through your day.
Cat says, yes, I am confident the bees will swarm my body if I use this.
It comes out clear, so you wouldn't know that it's an unconventional scent just by looking at it. In the name of journalism, I had 3 of my coworkers blindly smell the body wash and tell me what they thought it smelled like. One said eucalyptus, another said pink lemonade, and the last instantly said margarita.
I think this says more about your coworkers than it does the soap.
But they all agreed that there was a citrusy smell, and 2 of the 3 said they would use it. Personally, and I knew what the bottle was filled with, of course, I think it smells just like Mountain Dew, and that makes sense since a PR rep confirmed that the actual Mountain Dew is an ingredient in the body wash. This is not making me feel comfortable. The bad news here is that the Mountain Dew Body Wash Blast is not available for purchase. Only 250 bottles were made and sent to friends of the brand, but you never know. Maybe a high response and positive reaction to wanting to try the body wash will have it hitting shelves or online in the future. We can hope. Why?
Oh yeah, that's what to call it. Hope. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I was thinking, just sitting in my bed, awake at night, in abject terror of this threat to my sanity possibly coming to me, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
You know, have you guys ever heard about the Museum of Failure in Switzerland, where they actually have displays of some of the worst things that have ever been invented? Like,
yes, I have heard of that.
Yeah, like the bacon toothpaste, or bacon toothpaste.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that is a thing that happened once long ago. Then there was like there was a whole bunch of other like weird stuff, but the point is, there's 250 bottles of these currently in existence. If this thing doesn't catch on, that thing is going to be definitely one of the major exhibits there.
Well, if they release it to everyone.
If they release.
Oh yeah, if it's getting all this press coverage, everyone's talking about, hey, let's go. We want it. Send it. It's being made. It's getting good responses from people. Yeah, if it's still an if.
Oh, speaking of which, vaguely of which. Speaking of Europe, remember, and earlier when we were talking about Japan, remember when we talked, Decker, before about maybe going to
like Romania?
Yeah, Romania, and then reviewing a bunch of vampire films.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That'd still be nice. I like traveling.
Yeah, that would be really cool. The new Dracula series is out on from the BBC is out on Netflix right now.
So shall I bring up the Twitter poll?
Oh yes, please do so.
Yes. So in the spirit of these amazing products for our health and safety and well-being, mental stability, what amazing snacks and drinks out there should also be turned into bath products? Choice the number 1 is the Coca-Cola brand shampoo. You've seen what it does to coins after a few days. See what it'll do to your hair.
My hair, it brings out the natural blonde, the natural brown, but it gives a nice fizziness after every hour.
Choice the number 2, Funyuns brand loofah. It's still just as hard and scratchy as ever, except now you're putting it to some good use. You also end up smelling a bit like salt. Choice the number 3. Everyone's always talking about how cleaning cleaning your house with dogs in it is just the same as trying to brush your teeth while eating Oreos. Well, now you can with Oreo toothpaste.
Yeah.
And finally, last but not least, we cannot have this on an episode of Live and Wired if we do not mention this and this amazing, perfect combination. the Doom Bone Vodka mouthwash.
Yes.
The poll is on Twitter at Decker Shadow for 30 minutes starting now. And I will be sharing the link out in the chat box. Okay, there we go. Get that onto Africa TV as well. There it is.
All right.
And let me get back over to the chat box. Okay, there we go.
All right. So while we do that, I guess we can cover our next bit of news. So let's see. It's technically, let's see. Yeah, it is Decker's turn. So the next bit of news that we want to talk about is how much monsters that Disney is in terms of all the stuff that they have purchased, in terms of all these studios and all these intellectual properties and all that kind of stuff. Well,
before you know it, Disney's bought you.
Yes.
Wait, didn't Disney buy Blip at some point?
Yes.
Wasn't there like a short period of time where Disney owned my ass?
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
They kicked you off of there.
Yeah, then they fired me. But before that, they for a certain period of time, they had acquired it, and then they...
Yeah. Okay, so this year in 2019, Disney has made not only billions of dollars in their movies, but their box office revenue just skyrocketed. Compared to all the other movies that came out this year from all the different companies, they don't even come close to how much Disney has earned. Yes, so Disney, the corporate monsters that we love, but we cherish in our hearts, they have earned...
I mean, yeah, I might growl and shake my fist at Disney, but I will always cry for Mufasa.
Aren't we all? Well, I mean, depending on which version, because don't forget, a few months ago we had the Lion King remake. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, so the percentage that Disney has gotten in their box office revenue, if you can believe it, 80%. They have produced 80% of the top box office hits this year.
That's a lot of profit.
Yeah. Like, no other studio came close.
Ah, damn it. They stole some of my dollar bills and gold bars, too.
We have $4.20 from As Poop by Anakin Skywalker. When are you reviewing the Blob?
The Blob has been a big request for a long time. I really need to get to doing that at some point. I don't have it on the docket yet. I don't have a copy of it still. But I know I would like to watch it, so I don't know what the hell's taking me so long.
Are they talking about the original, or are they talking about the remake?
Probably all versions.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Blob, Son of Blob.
I got the gold bars and the demonetization symbol just yeeted out of there.
All right. So, anyway, it's your turn, Decker.
All right. It's difficult not to look at Disney's record-breaking year, securing 8 of the top 10 highest-grossing films of 2019 domestically, and its impressive entrance into streaming with Disney Plus, without whispering to yourself, maybe Martin Scorsese had a point. Disney's new record follows the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. The film grossed $175.5 million domestically in its opening weekend, just skirting past Universal Pictures' critically acclaimed horror film, Us. Enhance... Okay, there it goes. Which grossed $175.05 million total domestically. Although Rise of Skywalker is currently the 10th highest grossing movie in 2019 in the United States, that's expected to change as more people go out to watch the film in the coming days. Sure. Glancing at Disney releases this year yields an unprecedented collection of guaranteed hits: Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, and Spider-Man Far From Home. Marvel Studios and Disney co-produced the film with Sony, but Marvel Studios has full creative control. Brought an end to the Infinity Saga, Toy Story 4, and Frozen 2 were highly anticipated next installments in adored franchises. Aladdin and the Lion King were remixes of some of Disney's most popular 90s animated films, and The Rise of Skywalker is a Star Wars movie. It works out to more than $10 billion in global revenue. That's billion, with a B.
B.
The list reads like an algorithm spewed out by movies people who... spewed out... Blah. The list reads like an algorithm spewed out movies people would pay $20 to watch. It also epitomizes Disney's decade-long strategy. Everything belongs to a franchise or is designed to potentially start a franchise. Even Frozen, released as a standalone movie in 2013 with a fully contained story, was brought back for a sequel and a series of smaller spin-offs, because the demand was there. Plus, merchandise sales were through the roof.
I can attest to that.
Yeah.
When I lived in Florida, there was, and you know, all the
it was the ultimate reverse psychology ever with Let It Go. I swear.
Yeah.
No one fucking did. Everything is going according to plan for the House of Mouse. Disney began the decade with 2 key purchases, Marvel Entertainment in 2009 and Lucasfilm in 2012. That combined more than $8 billion investment has exceedingly paid off for Disney. Marvel Studios has made more than $28 billion at the box office alone, while Star Wars is the centerpiece of Disney's future, Disney+. The goal was to build out franchises Disney could consistently use and build worlds around. The strategy paid off. Each year of the last 10 years is punctuated by Disney's dominance. In 2018's box office saw the successes of Avengers Infinity War, Black Panther, and Incredibles 2, all from studios Disney acquired between 2006 and 2012. The Last Jedi and Beauty and the Beast topped 2017, Rogue One, Finding Dory, and Captain America Civil War were 2016's biggest releases. The only years Disney didn't completely dominate the top 10 domestic box office releases were between 2011 and 2013, just before any new Star Wars films came out, right as the Marvel Cinematic Universe was finding its pace, and before Disney's live-action renaissance really took off. There's something fitting, albeit sad and worrisome, about Disney ending its decade of rising into a singular Hollywood powerhouse by sitting upon the box office throne. We are not embarrassed by the fact that we have big blockbuster movies that people enjoy, Kevin Mayer, Disney's head of the direct-to-consumer products, told The Verge at a recent media day in New York City. If you look at if you look at the box office success, that's an indicator for how popular and how embraced these films are by real audiences. Everyone wants to know what happens next. Contrary to popular belief, Disney doesn't own all the important IP. Warner Brothers has Harry Potter, DC Comics, and Game of Thrones. Sony has Spider-Man. Universal has the Fast and Furious and Despicable Me franchises. Way to go, Universal. You get to sit at the table, too. The biggest difference is Sony and Warner Brothers have suffered a series of critical failures, whereas Disney's films, especially Marvel titles, have largely done well enough. If the quality of Disney's movies starts to slide, so will box office tickets. Let's look at next year.
Never forget
Disney's 2020 is far less packed with anticipated movies. There are a couple of major titles, including a live-action adaptation of Mulan and Black Widow and the Eternals from Marvel. Are you sure that's not Eternals? Okay, there is Eternals, okay. But none of those have the cultural weight and recognition of Endgame, The Lion King, or a Toy Story film. Disney's future isn't just theatrical releases anymore, nor is it arguably a main focus. 2020 is about Disney+, the company's streaming service, and continuing to entice people to sign up. All eyes from investors are on Disney's streaming strategy, not necessarily just on box office returns. Disney's already shifted a number of theatrical titles to Disney Plus exclusives. The Lady and the Tramp remake, Noelle, pulled its titles from competitors to offer exclusivity, and is bringing non-Disney franchises like The Simpsons over to ensure people have something to put on in the background. That's what The Simpsons is for, definitely.
Yeah, background.
It's just background noise right there. Expect to see more out of the Disney Plus in 2020, especially as the company heads towards its first full year as a streamer. And by 2021, when Avatar 2 and a number of other highly anticipated movies hit theaters, Disney could be at a place where it dominates the box office and streaming. And then it gets nice and complacent and puts out a bunch of stinkers and it does terribly, and investors run away screaming.
Yeah, because they have nowhere else to go. Yeah.
Stretchy.
So, so basically, like, the other 20%, is like split off in between all the other, studios like Universal and, and all the other companies. But still, I mean, like, that just goes to show you, it's like, what's to come for Disney. It's like, just pretty much all of our media. It's like it's everywhere. You can't turn one shoulder and think of and see something that isn't owned by Disney. Probably my DVDs at like 1/3 of it is Disney. So
I'm confused by the chat. People are saying bye, and he broke down. And this is the way. And what the? Greetings from the Orkney Isles. Oh, hello.
Oh, hello.
That's always like it's still like I know it is the World Wide Web and all that, but still, when you see like just the examples of that in action, it's still kind of I don't know something about it.
Yeah.
Especially since YouTube does tend to still say, you know what, Deca, you're in Texas. We'll show you stuff to Texans. Okay, there you go. You're good.
Right. All right, so let's go over to our next bit of news. So,
Gremlins have invaded the stream? That cannot be good.
Oh. Okay, then. I will definitely put that in mind. So, the real news. So, we actually had a new Sonic the Hedgehog trailer come out recently in Japan. And the Japanese are featuring a much more shorter but yet very cute trailer. So I'm just gonna click up right here. So it premiered what everybody has deemed to be called Baby Sonic. So
God damn it, Yoda's stealing our thunder.
Well, technically it's not
We'll get
Yoda.
these clicks. We'll get these clicks, damn it.
Yeah, well technically it's not Yoda because Yoda the Mandalorian takes place the Return of the Jedi.
Well, the point is, here's your new cute meme. Take it.
There you go. That's basically it, yes. So Japanese Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer shows baby Sonic, and look how adorable he is. Aww.
Well, it is a big correction from the horrifying shit in the first trailer.
I know, right?
Very true, very true.
The upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie just received a new trailer, albeit Japanese. There's some new and old footage mixed together, but one of the things we're able to see is a quick look at Baby Sonic. So that's the trailer. And it's basically a combination of like the old stuff that we've already seen before in the last trailer, not the first one. And it's basically a Baby Sonic running around Green Hill Zone, and it is adorable. So yeah, I think that for the most part, a lot more people are excited about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, especially since they tweaked up the visuals for the movie.
Yeah, did we discuss? I think
we did discuss about it because I was the second trailer.
I know. I'm just thinking like there was the news last time on Live and Wired. I think did we cover as much about all the bad stuff that came the animators' way, like the layoffs and.
I think we did. Company.
I know we were supposed to, but I'm trying to remember whether or not we discussed it. Maybe we didn't. We just didn't discuss it as much as I wanted because I feel like.
Yeah, you're right. I think we didn't really discuss in detail as much, but you're absolutely right that the studio that actually did work on that, they shut down their Vancouver branch.
Yeah, it's like from what I heard, a lot of the people who were doing the animating, there's some people that are saying, yeah, it's like there was the one thing when everyone said, okay, please change that, and the movie studio was like, you asked and we listened, and someone immediately came by and said, yeah, so the VFX artists who were there telling you from day fucking one that this wasn't going to fly and you told them to shut up and do it anyway, now you're going to come back to them and tell them to do it the way they told you in the first place that you should have been doing it, and you're going to just going to overwork them like that. I'm not, what am I? Am I speaking from experience? Oh, no, I don't know. So, and then, after that happens and then the layoffs come, it's like, wow, they got boned.
Very boned. We have a comment from Motorcycle U for $2 saying, Disney Something Wicked This Way Comes was SAF. Okay.
SAF. I know what the AF is.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not
Scary.
Like superior.
Scary.
Oh, scary. Okay, scary. Okay.
Scary.
Also,
okay.
I am out of focus AF. I have a face camera. There we go.
There we go. All right. So let's go over to our next one, and this one is I actually want Creepy to take a look into it because this actually would be interesting for him to discuss about. And so let me see if I can. Here we go. So we already talked about all the Stephen King adaptations that has been coming out over the last few years.
Every single one can be drank to.
Yes, every single one could be drank to. Yes,
I really failed that don't drink so much resolution spectacularly.
Decker made a resolution to not drink so much. I came up with the idea for us to drink publicly.
Yes, but now we have another adaptation. But well, technically, it's a newer take of a classic adaptation, and a different form. So, a lot of people know about the '70s Carrie, and the sequel and the remake that came out about almost over 10 years ago. Yeah.
Say and Steak Media says Krusty the Clown needs a live-action spin-off. I'm thinking that would be kind of like Joker, except actually a comedy.
They were planning on actually doing that, believe it or not. Around the late 90s, Dan Castellaneta.
You're cutting out a bit there, Patricia.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, so around the late 90s, Dan Castellaneta actually did pitch to Fox that he wanted to do a Krusty the Clown spin-off show where it was live action. And there was like this bit about him, bringing in cartoons for the kids to watch. And they would always end the episode off with like beavers, taking down the stage. And then they would have to rebuild everything up again. And then Fox was like, yeah, that sounds too expensive. Let's just stick with the cartoon.
Yeah. It also sounds like something that someone would come up with while they were drunk or very, very stoned. So, yeah. Although I do
the Twitch counter there was saying 1 forever. Demon Orc was like, am I the only one on Twitch? I am the king of Twitch! And then it just switched to 2. Darn, someone else joined.
Also, I do think that there was talk for a while there of having like some kind of spin-off material for when Simpsons was in the 90s and big in its heyday. There was talk about having like a showcase of some kind where it followed, instead of the Simpsons family, it followed the rest of Springfield, the different people in Springfield. And well, if you kept following the Simpsons, you know that that's sort of what the show turned into anyway, so it was a moot point. But I do know that they had been trying to get a Simpsons before, was it 2007 or 8 that the Simpsons movie came out. That had been development hell for like 15 years. They had been trying to get a Simpsons movie on in the theaters for well over a decade. The episode Camp Krusty, which I believe was a season 4 episode, one of my personal favorites, but that was originally one of the ideas pitched for the movie, but they didn't use it because they didn't see how they could stretch it out for an hour and a half format. But they did use it. They made it into an episode. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm sorry. You had something else.
Got a couple of things. Motorcycle US dropped $2 on a super chat. Said, "Ooh, Carrie versus Charlie from Firestarter."
There you go.
That would be a hell of a knockdown, drag-out, supernatural, psychic girl fight. And it's also Stephen King girl versus Stephen King girl.
Stephen King cinematic universe.
Also got Kira von Karnstein has subscribed on Twitch Prime. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Actually, Patricia, they have something like that now. It's called Castle Rock. It's a show that started airing, I want to say, in 2018. And it is basically, it takes place in the town of Castle Rock, Maine.
Oh, okay.
It is essentially like, what if, like just sort of a TV show that takes place in the Stephen King universe. But you were going to say, what was the, we did it again, I'm sorry. The article you were going to show us.
Oh, that's right, yeah. So Carrie has been adapted into films, so now we're going to have a Carrie TV series. And yes, I'm talking about a TV series, not just one from a streaming service. So yes, another Stephen King adaptation is coming to TV with some changes.
You mean you're not going to have the pure Carrie experience broadcast?
I guess not.
Two smiley faces just got yeeted out of the jar.
Is this mine or?
All right, so whose turn is it to read?
Decker read. Is it your turn or is
it is my turn, yes.
Okay.
One of Stephen King's most popular works is getting adapted. Again. The horror authors Carrie will be getting the remake. Back in 1976, King's 1974 novel was adapted into the horror film directed by Brian De Palma and starring Sissy Spacek in the title role. 43 years later, FX is writing a new TV series based off of Carrie with some changes. According to Collider, FX's Carrie will likely be a trans performer or an actress of color to play the title role of Carrie White. This adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie is still in the very early stages, but it could be a while before fans find out who plays Carrie. Given the hot streak that Stephen King's properties are experiencing, it may not take a super long time before Carrie makes his casting announcement. You will think that FX will want to act fast on getting Carrie up and running. That said, a premiere date was not mentioned in the series. FX and MGM Television are reportedly in the early stages of working on the adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie for the cable. In a sign on how soon it will be.
I'm really confused by that. They're like, okay, we are on the earliest stages. We have no idea what we're going here, but we've got this mundane thing that doesn't really affect anything hammered down. We're definitely going to try and get that done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, like, it's kind of obviously pandering. It's obvious at this point, especially with the stuff that happened with Star Wars. If it's not obvious at this point, I don't know how many more clues people need. Like, these companies don't care. They don't actually have any kind of like feeling like, oh, this is an important thing to do for the public and for moving society forward. There was, oh yeah, the latest Star Wars movie that had the first lesbian kiss, the first same-sex couple kiss. We also edited it out for the Chinese release because they wouldn't like it. And that money is important. It's there for the American release because they want the money of the people who, it's a very popular thing right now. It's something that you can profit off of. That's the entire point. It's making bank. That's it. They don't care. They don't have an actual opinion that they're going to stand behind. They just want your money.
Right.
And it's just annoying to me anymore.
Yeah. The Carrie TV show is currently billed as a series, which indicates a one-and-done setup, unless it ends up pulling a Big Little Lies and returns after its originally planned run. News of FX's TV series comes 6 years after the 2013 feature film remake of Carrie that was directed by Kimberly Pierce. Chloe Grace Moretz played the title role of that version, with Poldark's Gabriella Wilde cast as Sue Snell. As for Stephen King, this is yet another King-related project made headlines this week. Before news of FX's Carrie series, an adaptation of Stephen King's Jerusalem's Lot landed on network and a major star. Oscar winner Adrian Brody is set to take on the lead role of Captain Charles Boone. Meanwhile, HBO has an adaptation of the King's The Outsider coming in January 2020, starring Rogue One's Ben Mendelsohn, Harriet's Cynthia Erivo, and Ozark's Jason Bateman. So yeah, we're going to be getting a lot more Stephen King adaptations, which means looks like we'll be increasing some more of the lineup for the Stephen King drinking.
Jade Nova says, I thought her entering womanhood was a big part of the original. I think that can be, like, Carrie being trans or black and trans, and that just having difficulties, because there was just difficulties dealing with who you are, difficulties dealing with the general public in society, being bullied, bad family life. There's a whole lot going on in Carrie, and being black and trans can fit fine with that.
Sure.
It does,
I'm just looking at the fact that they have like absolutely no idea what they're doing with it, but they're like, but that part, that's probably going to turn a profit. That's the thing that it makes me like, what?
Right.
Figures out the important things, please.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say, Decker, you're right. These big companies, they don't care. They'll make whatever they think will get them money. At the same time, however, at its heart, what Carrie is about the bully victim, and how, well, basically, that can bite you in the ass if you don't cut it out. Because, you bully a dragon, you're going to get burned. And, and I think that's why the story of Carrie, despite being over 40 years old at this point, over 40 years old at this point, Carrie is a story that has stayed with people. It's not just that it was Stephen King's first hit. It's not just that it's the story that put him on the map, as a horror writer. It's the fact that this is a story that for generations has resonated with people because many people do remember what it was like to be the bully victim.
Right.
So I've had this conversation with Seneca, the professional black man, before, and we both pretty much said the same thing. This story sticks with people because bullying is a real thing. It's not something that is localized within a specific generation or decade.
And Stephen King bullies. When Stephen King writes bullies, he doesn't fuck around with it. He makes the most fucking insanely evil bullies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, no one can like these characters. They are clearly in the wrong. They don't have a tragic, sad for home life, and if they do, it still doesn't explain quite how evil they are.
I will say that I'm basically pointing at myself when I say this, but I'm like, I get the very strong impression that Stephen King was bullying a lot as a kid, so he knows of which he speaks. When he writes just like these completely horrible monsters, he's remembering his own trauma.
I just think, like, 40 years later, he's there just typing it away, like, and that motherfucker was my chocolate milk!
But yeah, so that, but I do agree, being a trans person and being in high school, yeah, you don't really have to make a huge leap there. I mean, pretty much everything that happens in the infamous shower scene can play out exactly the same, with the exception of the fact that instead of Carrie getting her period, it comes out then and there that Carrie is, at least anatomically speaking,
yeah.
male.
One of the commenters, the chat scrolled too fast, I missed the name. They were saying that the pig blood scene is very much tied to that, but I think that could still work with the trans character if they are specifically, like, focusing on, well, you're not a real woman because you can't even have periods.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your blood?
Yes.
Where's your blood? Like, that kind of thing. That kind of just turn it a little bit on its head there, and the pig blood scene still works just as well.
Still works just as well. And like I said, just instead of Carrie spontaneously getting her period despite being a 17-year-old girl, have it come out that biologically, for that, because you can't start transition surgery until you are legally an adult. You have to be at least 18 or up. So Carrie may identify as female, but would still have male reproductive organs. So yeah, that would definitely, in a high school setting, yeah.
Pudak is asking, why do I get the feeling that Decker and Creepy put more thought into this than the producers of this new series? Oh, I hope not.
This is the first time we've talked about this tonight, and we've gone further than... I have the feeling that we've gone further than we have.
Yeah.
The mother, how the fuck would that work? I haven't... It's been a while since I've seen any version of Carrie. I know there have been several.
The mother can still be a crazy religious person because it's Stephen King, and you have to have at least one of those.
Oh yeah.
But Carrie could go to school as female, come home, change clothes, and try to
kind of sort of a double life sort of.
Right. Pass herself off as male at home, and the abuse kicks in because Mommy Dearest finds out that her, air quotes, son, is actually trans, male to female. Yeah.
Right.
Again, this isn't really something that requires a great deal of thought or a very, very far leap, ask anyone who is transgendered, and odds are good that they can probably tell you some horror stories of their own. So this really is not something that you need to go far into to look for the horror in the mundane, which is what Stephen King is so often known for. Although I can imagine that there are quite a few people who are transgendered who would watch the scene a transgender Carrie, at the end.
Kat says, and the scene where Carrie keeps correcting the principal on her name and causes the glass to break would work as well.
Mm-hmm. That too, yeah. Uh-huh. But yeah, I can imagine there are quite a few trans people who would watch the ending of a transgender Carrie movie where Carrie unleashes psychic hell upon her entire school and just go like, yeah.
All right.
Clap, everyone. Clap sarcastically. Oh, nope. That's too sincere. There we go. Nice and condescending.
God damn it.
Okay, then.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
So, how is the poll coming along?
Should be coming soon to its... Oh, it's complete. It is complete. Just now.
Awesome.
So...
Great timing, Patricia.
Thank you.
We got a total of 48 votes, which isn't too bad, but I guess not too many people are really too concerned about these particular products.
And if they were, we would be very concerned.
Coming in at a very, very low 6.3% of the vote, we have the Funyuns loofah. Not too many people want the onion salt scented loofah exfoliating their body. It is a shame. At second from the last, number 3, we have 20.8% of the vote going to the Coca-Cola shampoo.
Ah, yes.
Not a bad smell. Maybe someone not going to notice it, but after using it enough times, your hair's probably going to fall out.
Yes, I actually went to the
Acid
Coca-Cola.
does that.
Yeah, believe it or not, I actually went to the Coca-Cola Museum not too long ago.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta, and that's it's actually where Coca-Cola was first invented in Atlanta, and they actually have this really nice museum filled with memorabilia, and there's a testing room that you could be able to drink the Coca-Cola from all around the world. And let me see if I can, if I still have it. I do actually. I have a Coca-Cola VIP tour badge.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
At second place, with 29.2% of the vote, we have the Oreo toothpaste, which is a shame because that's what I actually use. Oh well. And at number 1, the snack or drink that should be turned into a bath product is the Doom Bone Vodka mouthwash, which
Not
probably could just work as that as is.
Yeah.
So it pretty much already is that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not as shocking as you might think. So, I was thinking earlier when
and
you said
Kat responded saying they just now remembered all of the snacks and soda flavored lipstick and balms in the 90s and 2000s. Thanks, Decker.
Yes. I actually got a question from somebody saying, did I go to the aquarium because the whale shark is... I did actually. I did go over to the and it was very nice. It was quite an experience actually. You got to see all the marine life and the whale sharks, the stingrays, and the fish and the giant enemy crabs, all that stuff. There was a giant crab there. So yes, I was there, and it was a wonderful museum. I do recommend, if you are going to be in the Atlanta area, then definitely check those two places out: the Georgia Aquarium and the Coca-Cola Museum. There were a lot of other places that I wanted to check out as well. I went to Piedmont Park. I went to let's see. There was the Civil Rights Museum. There was actually a Christmas village that was around there when I was there during the holidays. Beautiful, absolutely amazing. And I stumbled upon, when I was walking towards the museum, I found Ted Turner Street because Ted Turner's from Atlanta, and that's where the CNN building was, which I actually through. I didn't get a chance to get a tour there, but yes, I walked by Ted Turner Street. So yeah, that was quite a thrill.
Oh,
So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, there's one more thing on the title card.
Oh yes, that's
about
right.
another little change that is taking place for the new year. That
Yes, that's
may
right.
be surprising to some.
Yeah, for sure. So, so let's talk about a particular rock star that some people may know about. So, Meatloaf. He just recently announced something, and no, we're not referring to the Greta Thunberg incident. We're not discussing about politics. No, we're talking about something else that he announced, and that was that Meatloaf, ironic with his name, I guess I accept. He is going to be going vegan, but he refuses to change his name to Veg Loaf.
Lentil loaf it is. That's the picture I used for the title
Yes.
card. I
Yep,
put his face
he's
on a lentil loaf.
There you go. He is officially called Lentil Loaf here at Live and Wired. You heard it here first. Okay, so it's Creepy's turn this time, which is kind of appropriate since you did talk about Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Meatloaf is in that movie.
True. Okay. It's sort of a 6 degrees of
Separation.
All right. So
but which part's the end piece is what I want to know.
Well, Decker, if you don't know, I'm afraid that I'm just going to have a long talk.
God damn it.
The rocker joins a host of music stars who have converted to veganism, including Sir Paul McCartney, Brian Adams, Ellie Golding, Ellie Golding, Will Am I? Good.
Well, I am.
Enhance.
Here, let me help you. Yeah, I'll enhance. There you go.
Thank you. Okay.
I Am.
Will I Am and Ariana Grande. Plenty of stars from the screen are now following plant-based diets, including Simon Cowell, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Natalie Portman.
Yay. So, okay.
But when asked by restaurant chain Frankie and Vinny to rebrand himself as Veg Loaf for the month, he insisted he won't do that. Meatloaf, real name Marvin Lee Aday, said, "When Frankie and Vinny first approached me to rebrand to Veg Loaf, I said, no way in hell I won't do that." Of course he did. But I'll do anything for our planet, and dropping meat for veg, even for just one day a week, can make a huge difference. Okay.
Yes, and there's the picture right there.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I think that the picture that you did put with the lentil loaf, that was actually pretty clever. I do appreciate that.
Very true.
So does this mean I get the in to talk about vegans?
No.
No.
Kat says going vegan is not going to save the bloody planet, which is a good point because it really doesn't. Especially you got to be smart about it. It's like a lot of people will say, well, it costs it's more emissions to grow meat than it is to grow plants. It's like, well, it depends on the plants, and also if we're processing the plants, how are we processing them? There's the whole thing. Recently, one of the things is there's the new Impossible Whopper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've heard of it.
I've actually tried the Impossible Burger.
Yeah, it's I haven't tried it. I don't know if I care to, but there's assumptions that are made about it because it is a non-meat Whopper. It's assumed that it is better for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's assumed that it's better for the environment. But if you actually calculate how much processing goes into it, you have more carbon emissions to produce an Impossible Whopper than you do for a regular one. It's 30 calories fewer, so it's like 630 calories instead of 660. But those calories, it's got a whole hell of a lot of salt in it. It's like really not very good for you. Health-wise, it's better to just have a regular Whopper. And if you're talking about a regular Whopper as being a healthy option, that's not a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's things like that.
This comment from Bishel. What comes next? The band Salt and Pepper are going to be barbecue spice.
Oh god. So it's like for me, it's
don't joke about that because that could actually happen. there have been so many times here
God.
where somebody said, "Oh, what's next? This thing?" and I'll be like,
It was like, well,
yes!
pulling up the article.
And they were like, "I was joking."
So
And they were like,
yeah, it's like there's all the perceived ways of we got to help the environment and this and that, and all the actual things that happen. There was, of course, a few years ago, there was the Keystone Pipeline, and everyone's like, no, we can't let the Keystone Pipeline be built. It's like the oil's still going to be shipped. That's the thing. Whether the pipeline's built or not, the oil's still going to be shipped. Pipeline doesn't get built, oil is shipped by barge, which causes more emissions.
right.
Just saying. It's like, it's a thing. It's all kinds of. There's no simple answer, and which is a shame because that's the way people want it, is a simple answer.
Okay, well, I have the next article ready. So, let's see.
What vegan eats at Burger King anyway? Californian?
Sure.
No, they just go to In-N-Out and say, it's okay to cheat once in a while.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about Puppet Master. So the Puppet Master series has become like a bit of a, has a bit of a cult following over the years, especially with one particular character, one of the puppets named Blade. Well, fan demand was so high that Blade is going to be actually getting his own solo film in the form of Blade Iron Cross. So I'm going to pull this up, and then I'll just have Decker read this one.
They do realize that there is already a movie out there called Blade, right?
Yes, but this one's Blade the Iron Cross. That's a complete movie.
This isn't going to confuse anybody.
No, not at all. All right, there you go.
Enhance?
Yes, sir. Gotcha. There we go.
Thank you. Part of Full Moon's Deadly 10 project, the iconic Puppet Master character Blade is getting his own spin-off solo film with Blade, the Iron Cross, headed our way in early 2020. In Blade, the Iron Cross, directed by John Lecago, for decades the fans have been clamoring for it, and now Full Moon delivers with the first standalone feature debut of one of the most beloved and most frightful characters, the hook-handed maniac puppet Blade. Charles Band's Puppet Master series continues as an unspeakable evil from Blade's past emerges in the form of a murderous Nazi scientist named Dr. Hauser. As Hauser's heinous crimes are discovered, the psychic war journalist Eliza Ivanov awakens Blade, and together the bloody journey of revenge begins. It's her Hauser's reanimated undead army versus a possessed doll and a beautiful vengeance-seeking clairvoyant. Who will win, and how will it affect the Full Moon universe? The film will premiere on Full Moon Features and Full Moon's Amazon channel in March 2020. God damn.
Yes. Yeah.
I really want to see this now.
Yeah, so here's the trailer. And if any of you guys are interested, you can check that out. And the poster. Let me just roll this out. Yep, this is the poster. Blade, the Iron Cross. Get it? Because cross, iron. Clever.
Correct. Yes. The cleverness of Hollywood.
Saiyan Sleek Media said, "Where's Pinhead?" Wrong franchise. But there is going to be Hellraiser, which we did talk about before. So.
Dark Solid X on Twitch said, "Holy crap, I didn't realize, but you have an awesome trailer voice deck. Thank you." I've seen enough movies, I think. It just kind of rubs off after a while.
The next time he goes to a movie, he'll be sitting in the theater and watching the opening narration for a horror trailer and then be thinking, why isn't Decker narrating this?
Yes, so let me see if I find anything else. Oh, yes, so...
Brandon Kilgore says, "Silly Decker, Iron Cross. Wouldn't that hurt a vampire?" Technically. Also, Holodeck Gaming has subscribed on Twitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's talk about our next bit of news. So, do you remember a while ago where we talked this movie was filmed in this place, and you can go visit there,
Oh,
so you can get the
yes.
full-on experience. We talked about that with Friday the 13th,
Friday the
and we mentioned
13th. Go to Camp Crystal Lake. Watch Friday the 13th. Have one of the camp counselors come by and murder all your friends. Enjoy the full experience.
yes. And a while ago, we did talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you can actually go to the gas station where the movie was, the movie was filmed at, like toward the beginning. So yeah, that's still open, and you can go there. So yeah, we've talked about our fair share of that over the years. Then there's speaking back of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, we also talked about like there's actually a hotel in the UK that you can go visit. So going back to Texas Chainsaw Massacre again. Did you know that the actual house that the film was took place in is still open, and you can actually go there? Yeah, that's right. So let's take a look into that.
Also, Motorcycle US dropped $2 saying, "But Mama told me, be a simple man."
Okay, so here we go. Got to get the cats out of the way. So,
Oh, the internet loves cats. Look at those cats.
yes, they're very cute cats, but not today. Okay, come watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the house where it was filmed and spend the night.
Okay,
Fun.
I'll do it.
I know you would. This is your chance to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre inside the Kenny Caperton's On-Set Cinema has been doing all sorts of cool on-location screenings like this, including Blue Velvet, Beetlejuice, and more. Their next screening coming up in March 29th and 30th will be one to remember.
Bill Cage asks, "What the fuck? Why did my emoticon become an emoji?" Yeah, sometimes they do that now. I prefer my emoticons, thank you very much. I like my smiley faces to be a colon and a parenthesis and on the side. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the very special night includes OSC will be clearing out Grand Central Cafe. Coolest horror slumber party ever. I'll be setting up a TV inside the room where the infamous dining room scene took place, and we'll have a Texas Chainsaw-a-thon. Goody, one good movie and two other crappy ones, and and the remake. We can watch original on repeat or the entire series from start to finish.
There's the options. Like, no, just the first. Just the first, please. You're going to be 3 times in a row? Yes.
Or just skip everything and watch The Next Generation over and over. Fans will be able to hang out and sleep wherever they want inside the house. From the doorway and smash Kirk in the head with the sledgehammer, or in the room that was filled with bones and chicken feathers discovered by Pam before she gets snatched up and hung up on a hook, or even upstairs where Sally finds Grandpa in the rocking chair. There will also be games and, of course, a barbecue dinner with head cheese on the side. So fill up your chainsaws and get ready to join the family.
Oh,
the whole
God,
thing
head
will
cheese.
go down.
They sell that. They sell that
Yes.
shit in Texas. I have never met a single Texan who likes that.
The whole thing will go down in Texas inside the now repurposed Grand Central Cafe. It might be a bit pricey, but for an experience like this, why not? You'll be dining on barbecue and fresh head cheese in the Texas Chainsaw home where all of Sally's nightmares came true. That alone is worth the price. For more info, head over to the On-Set Cinema page, and why not? Let's take a look and see what it says. So, okay, let's see how much, blah, 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 blah. Whoa!
How much?
$400.
Cool.
Yeah, $400 on Sunday and $350 on Monday. So, yeah.
So
and
$750 for both.
Yes.
Only 13 spots available each night. Oh.
Oh, wow.
So I gotta like do a big fundraiser to just get all my friends to get all the nights, both nights. Just like 700 times 13 by 7,000, and yeah, that'd be $9,100.
Yeah.
That's doable.
All right. So
Or should we
yeah,
take those $9,000 and go to Japan? I don't know.
that would be a better idea.
Or Romania. Romania is still an option.
There you go.
True.
Horror fan on YouTube says, "Let's watch it in a sewer."
Let's what one?
Let's watch it in a sewer.
Oh God.
No.
Southern Yankee says just green screen Decker. I should probably just invest in a green screen at some point. Oh man.
So I'm imagining Decker just like having some of the early problems that I did with my green screen, and then like, coming to you definitely from outside of Braun Castle, definitely in Romania, not in Texas.
Yes.
Still, the
What
head
reminds
cheese, the
my
fucking
Patreon
head cheese.
blog.
I'm still about head cheese. Yes, it's everywhere. You go to any supermarket in Texas, you can find head cheese.
Mhm.
But I have never met anyone who has anything good to say about head cheese. And I've met people who do buy the pickled pig feet.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Those are more popular. And they aren't available in every single grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still getting adjusted to the fact that I see some people drinking Coke with peanuts. So there's that.
Then again, I used
I
to
knew
put salt in
about
my
that.
Dr. Pepper when I was like really young.
Mm-hmm.
It made it fizz more. What for me? Salty and sweet is a nice combination.
Sure. All right, so let's go to our next bit of news, which, oh boy, let's go into some interesting.
But there's like people asking what head cheese even is, and Rob Blankenship has it right. Organ meat in Jello. There's nothing about no
yummy.
cheese. There's nothing dairy about head cheese. You have gelatin and like diced up chunks of liver, kidney, and maybe some pig lip. Some stuff. It just really the parts that you wouldn't want to eat ever anyway.
I mean, let's be honest. Gelatin dishes were popular in the 70s. The fact that Texas Chainsaw Massacre takes place in the 70s, head cheese, not too surprising.
Yeah, I don't. I've never been to the 70s in Texas, so I can't ask people around there. We could invent a time machine, try it out, see. Also,
Asmogan gave us $10, and this person says, "Hello, you beautiful people. How are you all doing? We're doing well, thank you."
pretty well. Been very busy lately, but I'm getting things moving again, and thank you, Ring Fit Adventure. I'm in the best shape of my life, which really wasn't that hard, all things considered.
Yeah.
I just stop not taking care of yourself. Wow, it's amazing.
Yes. Let's go over to our next set of news. So, the Game Grumps, very popular YouTube channel where they do commentary on games, and
He's grump.
they've even
He's not so grump.
they're the Game Grumps, yes. So they actually have. You probably remember that they did a video game not too long
Molly
ago.
Turner
It was like
says, "Creepy just be chilling out, Max, and relaxing, all cool."
And
playing
shoot
some people up
That's what
right
we're
after school. Okay. So yes.
The Game Grumps.
Yes, the Game Grumps. They have been associated with being guests or having cameos in a few games. I think one of them was AVGN Adventure, Shovel Knight. They even made their own dating simulator game. But this one,
I could do that.
Yes. So this one that they are featured in is interesting. So I have the. So go ahead, Creepy.
Lil Breck has just subscribed Twitch Prime. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so here you go, Creepy.
The Game Grumps are going to be in a Steam porn game for some reason. Okay.
As the protagonist or as who you're trying to get with?
Also, I forget his name, but the one on the right.
Danny.
kind of look like somebody that we know, Patricia?
Yes. He looks just like Tim Deanne. Okay, I'm kidding. But yes,
God damn
kind
it.
of, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Creepy. Oh, wait. I forgot. Increase. There we go.
I have questions. Understatement. Remember House Party? The game made news back when it was first released on Steam, mostly thanks to its really weird premise and the amount of gratuitous first-person sex scenes. Well, good news, it's about to leave early access. Also, the Game Grumps are going to be in it now.
Okay. It's like, I went from having no idea what this is about to every idea, and I hate it more.
All of them.
Okay,
God damn it.
Asmagon gave us another $5. I'm Grump. I'm not so Grump. And...
And we're in a threesome.
What?
Originally launched into early access 30th, 2017, House Party sees you attending, well, a house party. Throughout the party, you'll engage in a lot of dialogue choices, random acts of sex and violence, and other nonsense. Apparently, that also means hanging out with the Game Grump. Back in July, developer
Eek.
Eek Games had a little contest to put people into the game. The winners were both the Game Grumps and YouTuber Letty Does Stuff. Letty had already been added to the game, but the Grumps will be put in with the full version. Eek Games
Does that mean that they actually, like, entered this contest? Like, yeah! Yeah, that's... We want to be associated with this for the rest of our careers.
Eek Games also took the time to note that the full release has a few more features planned. The biggest is adding the ability to play as a female character instead of a male.
Oh, you mean I can schmooze the Grumps?
There's also plans to make the sex look more sexy.
Not gonna happen.
So there's that. However, with the game leaving early access soon, Eek Games notes that they're going to be raising the price on January 6th, 2020, 2 days from now, I think it is. Yeah.
Yes.
To $24.99. Currently, the game costs $14.99, but is on sale for $11.24 for the Steam Winter Sale. In a press release,
I don't want to have to buy this, but I don't want to pay $25 for it to buy it later.
in a press release, Eek Games CEO Bobby Ricci had the following to say about the full release. As for what's left after the Game Grumps are added, we still have stories coming for Derek, Frank, and Vicky's final ending, and then we will be releasing a female POV playthrough style that will offer up most of the game's quests, but with various twists and extra content that it can only be experienced this way. We'll also be combing over all of the existing content and making sure we tie everything together in a cohesive way, creating a nice set of fluidity with the player's choices. House Party has to...
They gotta put it like that, don't they?
Yeah. Skipping over that part, and your support has made it possible for our game to have the biggest... You know what? We're done here.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Game Grumps being in...
So, new Live and Wired poll. Which one of us to put into a porn game? We're going to have two spots for Creepy and Creepy's legs.
Oh my god, no.
You remember how we were talking once before about maybe having a video game starring the two of us? I want it on record that this was not what I had in mind.
Oh.
This is me talking here, and this is not what I meant.
Demon Orc on Twitch says, well, so many people are going to show up for the Game Grumps and say, I boned you, or I fucked you, and they'll just have to deal with that for the rest of the time. Oh, boy.
Anyway, Peter version 1 for $9.99 says... And
you cut out there.
Oh, okay, sorry. Happy New Year to Creepy Decker and Unknown Woman. I'm Patricia, by the way. Hi.
Patricia of Old School Lane. She does podcasts with lots of famous people.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually had one with Canadian voice actors Kathy Westluck and Andrew Francis. I just put it up yesterday. That it'll be up on YouTube on Monday. Anyway, Pinhead was the muscle puppet, not the wrong franchise. I thought it was referring to Hellraiser. For a shame, you do not know about this. I don't do horror.
I
If you
need
look at
to
my
watch
channel.
Puppet Master is my problem. Like, I have to do that Summer of Puppet Master that everyone's been asking for since
now you have
since about the summer of the Planet of the Apes, because at the time I think I had already done some of the Demonic Toys reviews.
Oh yeah,
and people were like, "Yeah, Full Moon Killer Toys, you got to do Puppet Master. Just do Puppet Master, man, Puppet Master." Everything got very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Dagger about that new film, Tolan.
Oh. Let's see. Why no Tolan? Tulan? Tulan. I'm confused, Len. Everything is... Oh, God. What's going on? Panic.
I think they're referring to a character in Puppet Master. Maybe that's what they're referring to.
Tolan is
the
Puppet Master himself. Oh.
Maybe it's in the trailer.
Nyarlathotep Faceless God says, totally forgetting Child's Play franchise?
No, we have not. We actually did talk about it in live. We talked about the Child's Play reboot that came out, and also we talked about the Child's Play TV series, which has the creator involved as an executive producer, but no new information about that. But if you're referring to Decker reviewing it, then that's a different story.
Yeah, I suck at my job. We just have to accept it at this point. Oh, boy.
All right, then. So let's go over to our next article. So let me see if I can... Oh, yes, that's right. So we actually have some information from Sam Raimi discussing about the future of the Evil Dead series. So he was recently interviewed on Reddit, and he gives information regarding about, when's an Evil Dead 4 coming out? So he actually answered that recently. So let's see what he has to say about it.
Okay.
So it's Decker's turn. So
fun.
Let me increase. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. As he revealed to us this past summer, Sam Raimi and company are working on a brand new installment in the Evil Dead film franchise, with Bruce Campbell noting in October that Raimi has handpicked a new filmmaker to take over directing duties. All can really be sure of at this time is that the film won't star Campbell as Ash, as he has retired the character.
Yeah, we've already talked about that. Canceled, and he was saying, that's the last.
You're cutting out kind of bad there, Patricia.
Oh, sorry. Remember a few months ago when we were discussing about Ash versus the Evil Dead when it got canceled, and he was and Bruce Campbell was saying, as soon as this series is over, I'm retiring the character. And since then, he actually has been busy with other projects, such as being the host of Ripley's Believe It or Not.
So that's what Campbell has been insisting, at least, but it seems like Raimi is still holding out hope. During an Ask Me Anything chat on Reddit, tonight, in promotion of The Grudge, Raimi addressed the future of the franchise. Bruce, Rob, and I were working with a young filmmaker who is writing a new Evil Dead story that he will direct, he again noted. Raimi continued, as for me, I would love to direct a new Evil Dead movie, but I'd really like to do it with Bruce. I'd really like to do it with Bruce. And he says he's retired the character. I hope not. Interesting. What about a sequel to Fede Alvarez's remake, you ask? It sounds like that's still on the table, too. If Fede would write or direct it, yes, in a split second, Raimi responded to a fan who asked whether or not the 2013 film would ever be getting a sequel. So it sounds like the Evil Dead team is open to pretty much anything at this point, but what's important is that the new film is most definitely in the works right now, and it sounds like it's not a sequel to Alvarez's remake, but rather a brand new Evil Dead story. More as we learn it. Do-do-do-do-do. I'll swallow your soul!
Yeah, so you covered all the Evil Dead movies. So, what would you prefer? A new...
You're cutting out again.
Oh, sorry. Okay, there we go. So, you've talked about all the Evil Dead movies. So would you actually prefer to see a new director take the helm? Or did you wanted to see Alvarez get another shot at it?
I feel like Alvarez's Evil Dead started to feel like Evil Dead pretty much right at the end. And continuing from that standpoint, we could get an Evil Dead movie that really feels like Evil Dead and isn't just treading the same waters anymore, and might actually stretch out and break new ground. It did mix things up in the beginning, but the beginning really didn't. It wasn't kicking in. It didn't feel so much like all the things, all the over the top, crazy shit that really is synonymous with Evil Dead.
Right.
So it's really hard to have a more serious and dialed back exploration of friends and relationships in Evil Dead. So
right. I understand.
when it's raining blood and you're killing people with motherfucking chainsaws, then you're like, yeah, this feels kind of Evil Dead-y. But
yeah, that's kind of how I felt about the Power Rangers movie not too long ago. That it started to feel like Power Rangers towards the end of the movie, where everything else was like, it felt kind of like completely different, even though the set pieces were still there from the original.
So I feel like continuing Alvarez's Evil Dead series, you wouldn't have to retread the same areas. You could expand on it more, and you could take what you learned the first time and give it more of a focus the second time around. Whereas starting over, of course, you can try and make it feel more like Evil Dead the whole way through, but again, we'll probably be covering the same ground. Here's the audio recording. Here's the Book of the Dead. Here's your friends turning into zombies. It's going to be the same stuff that we've seen several times over. Evil Dead 2 is practically a remake of Evil Dead 1.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Creepy? What are your thoughts?
I mean, there is a point where a franchise just kind of hits a wall. You know, we've seen this with Nightmare on Elm Street. We've seen this with Friday the 13th. We've even seen this, you know, some have even said that there was a point where the Puppet Master series got stale. But, I mean, sometimes you just have to take a, you know, like, if there's still a demand for something, sometimes you have to take a step back and look at what works, what doesn't, and how you can use what does work to appeal to your new audience, your modern audience, and just see where that takes you. I mean, what happened? I mean, you know, like, change is always something that's hard to accept. You know, we all know how the general public, you know, speaking as a part of it, the general public resists change, is hesitant to see anything change.
Yes. Speaking of change, wait till we discuss about the Star Wars controversy.
Oh, God.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a
Star
minute.
Wars, yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Things that don't change don't survive. I mean, you know, like, that's what evolution is. You know, look at all of the people who did try to stay true to their art by not evolving, you know, and trying to find a match with their new audience while staying true to the spirit of what they were doing at the same time. And they're just kind of, I mean, where are they? You know, that you just kind of fade into the spirit. Yes, I see you, Decker.
I've kind of stagnated. But people like that. They're like, hey, Decker Shadow, he reviews movies in this style, and he's kept at it. I don't know what the hell Nostalgia Critic's doing anymore.
That's good. I try to mix things up a bit, but in the end, they get nowhere near the... Why don't you just talk about the things that we know that you... that we know you more from.
I mean,
like, for example,
the channel has evolved over time. It's just done it in more subtle ways. I've been trying to work on increasing the production value, increasing the make it so, like, improve my editing, get everything looking nice and clean and high resolution. Live and Wired was on top of everything else, and still is, and I like the way that this is evolving. It's taking its time. It's not the vision I had in my head of, it's just going to be like a late-night talk show kind of thing. I don't know, something. It's still not that. It is a web show podcast kind of deal that you get with a lot of channels, but it has improved, and there's just a lot that goes into still progressing forward and changing things up and trying new things without just throwing out everything from before. It is difficult when you have an established fan base that expects a certain thing and you want to, like, you have something else you want to branch out to, but the thing to do is, like with Live and Wired, it's on top of everything else. It doesn't get nearly as much traffic as the reviews, but it's been doing well. I enjoy it. I hope that you all enjoy it. I hope that everyone watching enjoys it. If not, I'm pretty sure the numbers are going to go down real fast, because I just brought up the option that you can turn this off. But the thing is, I didn't stop doing the reviews to do Live and Wired. I think that was one of the things where, with like the Nostalgia Critic example, is before he was like, okay, I'm going to stop doing the critic and do demo reel.
Right.
And that no one liked that. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go back to the critic. And then over not too long of a period of time, those episodes just kind of turned into demo reel.
Right.
So,
I don't think,
yeah.
I don't think demo reel necessarily was a bad idea. I just don't think it was done very well. And I think, like you said, Decker, that if he had kept on doing the Nostalgia Critic and kept on, working on demo reel in his spare time and building it up, but demo reel was a gamble. Like, they thought, okay, we're going to end the Nostalgia Critic and we're going to gamble everything on this one thing. And it didn't pan out, and so he went back to being...
Need to come up with a Conan O'Brien dance if you want to be like a late night show? I already got a little dance. I'm going to do my little dance.
Are you going to dress up as Michael Myers, too, while you're at it?
No, this is just like when my phone alarm goes off and I got to get my medication to my fiancée. I just dance to my phone alarm, and I got this little dance. People are going to make a gif out of this to make fun of me on 4chan. It's going to be amazing.
So this is the thing we're going to witness now.
Very nice.
I feel like I need some kind of gif of that, or like a clip of that set to music. No. Like,
well, we need to play it with royalty. We don't get copyright claims.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, hey Decker, we can't hear you.
Yeah.
No. I guess the dancing took away his ability for us to hear him. It is that powerful.
Right.
All right, so while we do that,
test.
I'm gonna go.
Oh, there we go.
There you are.
All right. The cable got caught on the chair. It hooks in right here. This has a little switch on it that works as mute. It's all kinds of But point is, it works. Yay, new computer! Ow!
Careful. Don't strain yourself.
Yes, Mom.
All right. Let's continue on, shall we? So, let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. So this year, I'm sure we actually talked about this. That the 2020 Olympics is going to be held in Tokyo.
Do the Carlton dance next? If I try that, I think he might try to sue me. Of course, to be fair, the guys at Epic did straight up rip that dance from him and didn't compensate him in the slightest, and it was clearly his work. Like, legally speaking,
yes.
He had it right there.
Right. Anyway, so the 2020 Tokyo.
You're cutting out a bit there.
Okay.
Like I have room to complain, but still.
I know. Okay, so 2020 Olympics happening this year. And we talked about this a while ago, that there were ambassadors. The ambassadors have officially been announced. So let's talk about it. Here we go. So, here we go. Okay, it's my turn to read this time. Okay, so, yes, these are the official mascots for the 2020 Olympics. Because Japan.
Ah, Japan.
Is that Crayon Shinchan in there?
Yes, that is Crayon Shinchan.
Which one's that?
That would be this character.
Yeah.
I can't see your pointer.
On the left.
It's the little boy. With
Oh,
red
okay. That's who I thought you were talking about. Actually, you're the only one I didn't really know.
Yes. All right. So let's. Guys, it's finally 2020. For those of us who were born in the 90s and went to school during that period, you probably have recalled the famous Wawa-san 2020. But if you haven't been keeping...
The comments are like, oh, no Dio, giant robots, no All Might, no JoJo, disappointed.
I know. Well, you have to understand that the Olympics, it was like 2 years ago that, it was, finally, no, wait, it was 4 years ago. 4 years ago that it was announced that, Tokyo was going to be the next place for the Tokyo Olympics. So around that time, there was no, I think there was no My Hero Academia. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think, was just starting out with its other series. So maybe I think they were choosing like more familiar. As for who these two girls are right over there next to Goku, I have no idea. But as for the little cat thing, this was when came out, and it was like really popular in Japan. Not so much anymore. Hindsight 2020.
Right.
I didn't joke.
Yokai Watch is still popular enough. Just at the time, that's like having Pikachu there. Right now, it's like having Yokai Watch there.
Right. So, who exactly will be selected?
You're cutting out again, Patricia.
I hate this microphone. Okay, so
new mic for Patricia.
Yes, that's gonna be my new. That's gonna be new. That's gonna be my new. My new campaign. New mic for Patricia. Okay, so here are the mascots. So we have Sailor Moon, Luffy, Naruto, Goku. Cure Miracle and Cure Magic. Pretty Cure. I've never seen the show. Astro Boy, Shin-Chan, and then finally have Jibanyan. So you'll be happy to know that merchandise for the official 20 Tokyo Olympics are now available to purchase. And what's even better is that the site is available in English for easy access. Let's go! The last time that we actually did this, one of our followers actually, remember we went to the official Godzilla site?
And
Kat actually purchased the Mothra toy. So let's see what we got. So you have, let's see, Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympics. Ooh, this really nice jersey, a fan, a belt, a blanket.
I want the Goku Vuvuzela.
Oh.
Do they have a Goku Vuvuzela?
No.
God damn it.
We'll be taking a look at some more. Let's see. A navy bag, binoculars, Hina doll, gold template. Let me see what we got. Toys and hobbies. Toys and hobbies. Okay, here we go. Kokeshi. Let's see. Plush toys, emblems. There's a lot of things here. More plushies. I guess this is supposed to be the. It's very cute though. Jump rope. Tokyo 2020 Olympics with people. Okay, not Mario and Sonic characters. Makes sense. Let's see.
You mean they make those games?
Yeah, Japan makes everything, man.
I'm
Pillows.
confused.
Another emblem. More toys. Let's see. I'm just gonna skip on by. Let me see if there's.
I like all the ads on Twitter for the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. They're showing the one where Princess Peach and Bowser are boxing, and Peach just beats his ass and is like, yeah. And I'm there like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If she could do that the whole time, why did I have to go through 8 worlds of this crap?
Let's see. We have, we have, ooh, there we go. A Koban coin. That's cool. Let's see. Oh, okay, cool. a small sword with a stand.
Nice.
Yeah, for 22,000 yen.
All right.
So there you go.
That's
for
like
anybody who
$200.
Yes. Let's see, a teapot, ironware, yeah, so bunch of stuff. None of the stuff that has anything with the, but not too surprising because I guess that they have to go through major permissions from licensing. So
Yeah, I could
yeah,
probably check Amazon or eBay. I can get myself a Goku Vuvuzela.
there you go.
I can do this. I will have my Vuvuzela, and I will annoy the piss out of Charlie.
Yes, that would be amazing.
No.
Even better than a Vuvuzela. If you want to annoy somebody, we need to have a shonen anime blowhorn. You know, whenever they scream so they can power up. We need something like that as our next Vuvuzela. That is the next thing.
We're gonna have fire electricity just.
Yes,
it's gonna be awesome.
That is gonna be the next thing.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's go to the next topic. All right. So, oh yes, Star Wars.
Oh god.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so a lot of people have been talking. Oh, Rise of the Skywalker did not meet to my expectations, and blah 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 fan service, blah 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 wasn't as good, blah blah blah. Even though we hated The Last Jedi, we don't like this, or we prefer that, blah blah blah, whatever. So the editor of The Rise of the Skywalker actually did admit that there were some behind-the-scenes production issues that were going on when they were trying to get the film.
Admit is really the right word. I know there was a couple of articles where it is worded as in admits that this and admits that that, and I'm thinking like that sounds like someone was pressuring them, like say it. And I think this is just more like they alluded to, they mentioned, like, okay, it's true, we fucked up, I'm sorry.
Right. All right, so Creepy, it's your turn. So, yay, I know. Okay, here we go. Let me just increase this for you. So, yeah, okay. Rise of Skywalker editor opens up to film fan service. That's what everybody wants to hear. So, go ahead.
Most critics agree that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is a disappointing finale to the 9-film Skywalker saga, and many have been wondering since the film's December 20 release whether or not it would have been stronger had the production had been given more time to breathe. While appearing on the Rough Cut podcast via The Playlist, Rise of Skywalker editor Marianne Brandon admitted the film's production was rushed, which made for a challenging editing process. Brandon is Rise of Skywalker director J.J. Abrams' longtime editor, having worked with him on TV's Alias, plus Mission Impossible 3, Star Trek, and Star Wars The Force Awakens, among other projects. Okay. We were definitely still trying to figure out a lot of stuff, Brandon said about the sped-up editing process. It's a struggle. It affected everything. About a third of the way through, Lucasfilm president Kathy Kennedy was like, JJ has got to spend more time in the cutting room. And I knew that wasn't going to happen. Not with the schedule that we were on, not with what he was dealing with on a daily basis. He was just exhausted at the end of the day. According to Brandon's estimates, the Rise of Skywalker crew had 3 months less to work on the latest Star Wars movie than was the case for Force Awakens. Disney set a December 20, 2019 release date for the movie that cannot be moved, forcing Brandon to edit on set so that the production schedule was maintained. That does sound like a horror. I suggested I cut on the set. We had 2 tented rooms, so I just went wherever JJ was, usually to feel away from the camera, wherever the camera was, Brandon said, and I just mobily cut. And in between takes, JJ could sit down with me and we could go over things. As for the negative critical reception of The Rise of Skywalker, Brandon said, in a time where the whole world is polarized, it should not be a film that is polarizing. Basically, the message of the film is, hey, you know what? You bad and good can come into your life, and maybe if you're open-minded to it, extraordinary things can change your mind. And you have to believe there's always hope. One of the biggest complaints thrown at Rise of Skywalker is that the movie is pure fan service, which is not a claim Brandon will try to fight. Look, sure, it's fan service, the editor said, but if you didn't service the fans, it would be, oh, he didn't get along with the history of Star Wars and what it all means. Rise of Skywalker is now playing in theaters nationwide.
Yeah. Yeah, and shortly a few days after that article, there was an announcement saying that, J.J. Abrams had a completely different cut that fleshed out more of the story and all that stuff, and that, Disney, did the other cut. And now there's this hashtag going around Twitter saying, #release the J.J. Abrams cut.
Which is allegedly over 3 hours long.
Yeah, sure.
Think it'll be the Lord of the Rings cuts where when you put all 3 movies together, you have like a 12-hour movie. Like, will this trilogy be like will the demand for the J.J. Abrams cut be like the new Lord of the Rings, where now all 3 movies can be watched back to back, and it'll take you like literally half a day to finish, so don't plan on bathroom breaks.
See, I'm just sitting there with Charlie watching the uncut version of The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I'm just okay. There's where I am.
Yeah,
I don't. It's just that Star Wars has become just too stressful for me.
I don't blame
you know what? I wanna. I got what I'm watching.
Good.
Something nice and calm, a nice M. Night Shyamalan movie. Don't have to worry and think too much.
Yeah, I don't blame you for it. All right, so let's discuss about the next bit of news. So, let me see if I can get it. Oh yes. So another around the Texas area. So we talked about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre area, but what if you're more into witches? There's actually a witch festival that's going to be happening around in Austin in March.
But can Texas massacre the witches with chainsaws?
Sure.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay, so let me just pull it up. Here you go. Nothing? No? Oh, goody. All right, hold on.
Okay, now we see something. We saw.
Oh, okay. How about now?
Okay.
Now we can see it.
I swear, I need another computer. All right, go ahead.
All right. Attention, witches! Our time has come to don those beautiful black robes, dust off those witch hats, and get your brooms ready. Yes, if you are someone who loves all things witchy, Austin, Texas is now hosting a massive witch-themed festival where people from all over the U.S. dress up as witches and have the time of their lives. And try not to offend the Wiccans. Dear God, they get pissy when we do things like this. The event, called the Austin Witch Fest, will take place on Saturday, March 7th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Okay.
The Witch Fest will take place at Jordan Bachman Pioneer Farms, which is supposedly an eerily fitting spot for such events. As reported by Nosity, Austin Witch Fest is, you guessed it, a festival dedicated to all things witchy. Held in the beautiful outdoor spaces of Pioneer Farms, we hope that you will join us for a day full of workshops, rituals, vendors, raffle prizes, entertainment, and more. Tickets are $5, which is so much better than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house, I'll just tell you right there, and can be purchased through Eventbrite. All sales are final. Refunds will only be given if the event is cancelled. Tickets will also be available for purchase at the gate with cash or card. We are still in the process of reviewing applications and putting together a schedule of events. Reads the official description of the event.
All right. So, let me see if anything else. Oh, yeah.
And you can even dress up like your favorite witch from pop culture, as the event is happening completely outdoors. Don't forget your cloak don't forget your cloak behind. What? Don't leave your cloak behind, or don't forget your cloak. Don't forget your cloak behind sounds like your butt's a cloak. According
Or-
to the
or
organizers,
you're
kids
not-
12 and under can enter for free. There will be... Geez, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. There will be carnival games, a bouncy house, and face painting. For more details, check out the Facebook page for the event here.
All right, then. So there you go.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on, kids! Free.
Free candy.
We have houses of gingerbread.
Oh, that's actually our next
that-
segment.
True.
It is. So there's a new trailer for Hansel and Gretel horror movie. Yes. So it's my turn to read. So I'll read this one. Yes, involving
on
more
Twitch.
voices.
On Twitch, Neralathotep, Faceless God, says, "Okay, if I ever have kids, then I will hire you to read them bedtime stories."
All right. So new Gretel and reimagines classic fairy tale as a visionary. The story you know hides a secret. Osgood Perkins, the Black Coat's daughter, and I Am the Pretty Thing That. And Orion Pictures puts a new spin on the classic Brothers Grimm fairy tale with Gretel and Hansel, releasing at the end of the month. Today brings a brand new trailer loaded with all kinds of crazy new footage, along with a gorgeous new piece of poster art. Horror fans have been keeping an eye on the Perkins for a while now, and Gretel and Hansel will bring one of the twisted nightmares to big screen, wide release for the first time. And this trailer is in the indication he's going to be winning a whole lot of new fans here in 2020. And if the movie is as good as it looks, let's just say he's fast becoming a new master on the scene. Check out the trailer and the poster art below. In the film, a long time ago in a distant fairy tale countryside, a young girl leads her little brother into a dark wood in desperate search for food and work, only to stumble upon a nexus of terrifying evil. Alice Cridge, Charles Babalola, and Jessica DeGaulle also star. Rob Hayes wrote the script. Orion is releasing Gretel and Hansel on January 31st, 2020. So, the end of the month. There is the trailer, and there is the poster. It's actually funny because a few years ago, I remember a Hansel and Gretel horror movie that was trying to cash in on the popularity of the YA craze of like Twilight, and there was like Snow White and the Huntsman, and there was like a Hansel and Gretel action movie that was akin to something like that. So I guess they're bringing it into like pure horror, which if you actually look at the original Brothers Grimm fairy tales, they're pretty terrifying.
Oh,
like
yeah.
legit terrifying.
Molly Turner says, "I thought this actually looked decent." And yeah, I saw the trailer for Gretel and Hansel, and I gotta say, if you're looking at it for something that is a fully authentic retelling of the story of Hansel and Gretel, I don't think that this is really going to be it. I feel like this is more heavily inspired by, but still very much its own thing, but also doing a really good job of combining the original story and the inspiration with an actual kind of interesting and creepy tale.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm actually looking forward to this one.
Yeah. And it's coming out this month. So there you go.
Faceless God on Twitch says, "Terrifying evil." I mean, I don't want to spoil it to anyone, but I'm pretty sure that everyone knows what's going to happen and what they will find.
Yeah. All right. Let's go over to our next article. Oh, this is actually funny. So let's talk about the newest film that actor Danny Trejo will be involved in, a spaghetti western horror film with vampires. Yes.
Okay.
Danny Trejo,
Yes.
spaghetti western, horror, vampires.
Also, did someone hear a knock?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Patricia had to mute real quick.
Oh, okay.
So, Creepy, I
So-
believe this is your turn.
Danny Trejo will star in Glenn Danzig Death Rider in the House of Vampires. Already, I love this title. While, whoops, okay. Thank you. While Glenn Danzig continues to tour the country in support of his directorial debut, Veronica, which is headed to Blu-ray next month via via Cleopatra Entertainment. Where did I get Encyclopedia?
Well, it involves nudity.
Involves nudity. He's already wrapped filming on his sophomore feature, Death Rider in the House of Vampires, a vampire spaghetti western that features Devon Sawa, Idle Hands, Final Destination, The Fanatic, in the title role. The film's official IMDb page has now been updated with more casting info. It has been confirmed that Death Rider in the House of Vampires will also star genre legend Danny Trejo, Machete from Dust Till Dawn, Grindhouse, The Devil's Rejects. It's worth noting that Trejo has been cast in the role of Bella Latigo, an obvious nod to Bella Lugosi. The film's cast also includes Julian Sands, Warlock Into the Dark, as Count Holiday. I like that name. Kim Director, Book of Shadows, NOS4A2, okay, as Carmilla Joe, Kansas Bowling, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, BC Butcher, as Ryder's dead sister. Victor DiMattia, Cool as I. Oh, okay, moving on. Dennis the Menace as Kid Vlad, Ashley Wisdom, Veronica Reprisal as Mina Bell, and Julia Class, Beyond the Law, and Atone, and Alone as Macarla May. Okay, damn, that was a lot of names.
Chris Lucio asks, "What does spaghetti mean when stating spaghetti western?" And Lone Dragon responded, The blood is tomato sauce."
Spaghetti western was a style of film that originated in Italy. It was a western that was made in Italy, and it sort of grew into its own flavor, basically. Yeah. Yeah, and here in the United States, they began to refer to them as spaghetti westerns. As originally, it was more of a pejorative term, but it kind of became.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like something you'd say out of kindness.
Right, but they made money and they gained a following, so there you go. Danzig will also have a cameo appearance as Bad Bathory. It's such a small part, but it will be a lot of fun. He recently said of the role, "I get to get all bloody, which I love being bloody. It's part of what I do." Okay.
Alright.
The soundtrack has been done for 2 years, and of course it sounds almost exactly like an Ennio Morricone soundtrack, Danzig told audiences at a Veronica screening in Los Angeles last year. He added, "In the film, so you don't have to wait around to see the vampire. Everybody's a vampire. You mentioned that. You don't have to wait around to see blood. You're going to see lots of blood.
It's being drank by vampires."
If you get to have the chance to see Danzig's cult sensation Veronica, read our review, you should make an effort to see it on the big screen, as more tour dates are sure to be announced early this year.
So is he a vampire, or is he rocking out to some heavy metal?
I was wondering
or
what was
both,
going
maybe.
On
I don't know.
Too.
Yes.
So I was just happy that recently I figured out, hey, while the CD player in my car is fucked, the USB can read MP3s as long as it's formatted in FAT32. So guess who bought several CDs today? I'm working on my collection of Lordy.
We're living the days.
I was rocking out to Sexorcism today.
Yes, we're living the days of having a book full of CDs in 2005.
Oh, no, it's just all going on the flash drive.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, then. So, yeah, we're reaching about the halfway mark, half an hour. So, you know what that means.
YouTube news.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, so let me just click on the first YouTube news. So, talk about what the decade has changed in form of television thanks to YouTube. So, let me just pull that up. the decade that YouTube changed TV, according to Wired. So
I don't know. I stopped watching TV long before YouTube. Just saying. TV already sucked. I'm just.
So whose turn is it to read?
I think it's mine.
So.
Yeah, it's your turn. Okay, so
Without YouTube, late night TV barely exists. That's not because Lily Singh, a YouTuber with nearly 15 million subscribers, made a television history in September by taking over Carson Daly's slot on NBC. No, not really. I'm not bitter. A little Late Night with Lily Singh is just the latest installment in a trend that began 10 years ago when Jimmy Fallon, then helming Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and getting only middling reviews, went viral after inviting Justin Timberlake to help him rhyme his way through the history of rap. The History of Rap video got twice as many views online as it did on air, an upset that would soon become the norm. Email address, no thanks! In the years since, Fallon and compatriots like Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, John Oliver, James Corden, and Samantha Bee have engineered their shows to be consumable as YouTube clips. They've altered the late-night format to resonate with whatever trends and hashtag challenges are sweeping across the platform. Popular YouTubers have become regular entrants on the show guest rotations. It's not so much that YouTubers have gone mainstream as the mainstream has gone YouTube. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself that. It's not the YouTubers that are doing well. We just have to adjust to that style to survive, but it's not them that are doing well. Fuck it, really? Fuck it. This is some mental gymnastics right here, just saying. Taking over TV is quite the coup for a platform that got its start just 15 years ago above a pizzeria in San Mateo, California. It's not just late-night television that's ceding territory to the big red play button. It's just about all video media consumed around the world, whether it's a highbrow movie or a comedy variety show, has to acknowledge and interact with YouTube somehow. In its marketing, in its release, in its post-theater sales strategy, YouTube has become the world's largest video hosting website. That doesn't mean they're doing well. We're not fuckers. And one of the internet's most popular search engines, second only to its parent company Google. Woe betide the crusty CEO who sees only a cat video repository. Of course, the cat video did have its heyday when YouTube first became popular between 2005 and 2007. It was for short videos, not much more than 3 minutes. Yes, many of them were goofy. Cats, women wiping out while stomping wine grape. What? I don't remember that video, but and oh my god, shoes. I remember that video. I love that video. That wouldn't seem to pose much of a temptation or a threat to mainstream television, but the overlap began almost immediately. SNL Digital Shorts, remember Dick in a Box? And Natalie Portman rapping about what a badass she is were early TV to YouTube successes. In 2007, CNN and YouTube aired the presidential debates. A year later, YouTube had penned agreements with MGM, Lionsgate, and CBS to stream full-length movies and television shows on the platform. These days, you can buy almost any movie or TV show you'd wish for on YouTube. And they've even tried their hand at making a few of their own shows with bold-faced names like Jordan Peele. YouTube, the company, isn't really the driving force behind these changes in trends and norms of television, though. It's YouTubers themselves, the independent creators responsible for the majority of the nearly 5 billion videos watched on the platform daily. Well, at least these guys understand that, unlike fucking YouTube. For younger generations like Millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha, YouTubers are culturally significant as traditional pop or movie stars, if not more so. In the beginning, they were anybody's, people with webcams, charisma, and a fair amount of luck. And, to a certain extent, that's still true. YouTubers are able to attract followings in the first place because they offer something of value to a specific community that at least seems to be authentically theirs. Often, it's subject area expertise born of years of long personal interest, like makeup or humor, history, or bicycles. Over time, though, the most successful YouTubers are the ones who have been able to parlay the popularity they gained from sharing their original interests, say, video games for PewDiePie, or nail art for Simply Nailogical, or pranks for the Paul brothers, into a more generalized form of celebrity. When enough people have come to care about you as a person, they'll eventually watch you do just about anything. Well, not in the woods, just saying. Therein lies the magic.
That's what the next article's about, actually.
Oh, God. Therein lies the magic and the danger. As YouTubers become stars, more and more companies wanted to work with them. They started routinely appearing in advertisements for brands as big as Taco Bell. Companies paid YouTubers to use and feature their products, which is called a sponsorship. I haven't had one of those in years. And paid YouTube to run their advertisements before, after, and amidst the YouTubers' videos. At this point, YouTube likely generates somewhere between 16 and 25 billion in revenue per year. That's high stakes for everyone, but particularly for advertisers who are fronting the bulk of their money and staking a portion of their reputation on the YouTubers they're associating with. So beginning around 2017, when high-profile YouTubers like PewDiePie and Logan Paul started using their platforms to behave in reprehensible ways, YouTube drew criticism from the public and the media, mostly the media, and advertisers threatened to take their money away by doing so. YouTube responded. They slashed who was eligible to make advertisement money, subjected videos to more rigorous levels of screening, and tweaked their algorithms to prioritize content deemed advertiser safe over others. If the average length of a YouTube video was around 3 minutes 10 years ago, these days it's closer to half an hour. In other words, TV show length. Dun-dun-dun. The result? Increased professionalism and an increased resemblance to conventional television. To thrive on YouTube now, it pays to be squeaky clean enough for Johnson & Johnson or Nike, and successful enough to pay a manager and an agent to negotiate your deals and smooth over any mistakes you do make. It's a bit of an It's a bit of a privilege. Success gets you the resources to be advertiser-friendly, and being advertiser-friendly pays enough to cover those resources. YouTube has made it clear that they like to work with existing brands that they feel they can trust, like our colleagues at Bon Appetit, some of which have become so prominent on YouTube that they became Halloween costumes. Big names like Bon Appetit or BuzzFeed have developed suites of successful YouTube series, functioning a great deal like television studios, but with reliable audiences in the millions. As YouTube's relationship with advertisers has stabilized, they've pushed creators to make longer and longer videos so they can run more interested advertisements. If the average length of a YouTube video was around 3 minutes 10 years ago, it is these days close to half an hour. In other words, TV show length. There are real reasons to be suspicious of the new, glossier, advertiser-oriented YouTube, which the people behind the effort to unionize YouTube's communicate eloquently. It creates a culture of corporate-friendly sameness and income insecurity for anyone who doesn't toe the new line. I know about income insecurity. Oh boy, that was 2019 in a nutshell. There's also a lot to celebrate about how far YouTube has come in the last decade, and what it's done with the influence it has. It's given enormous voices to people who haven't had access to acceptance in conventional broadcasting, like the LGBTQ+ community, who get demonetized simply for having LGBT in the title. Yep. It's allowed people's cultural consumption habits to become global, borderless, and it's widely popular. Not only has YouTube influenced television by shaping its content, its hosts, and its marketing strategies, but it has, for some people, almost come to replace it. Just almost, though. Hasn't done it yet. Nope. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Has not replaced TV. Don't you dare say it has!
Yeah, it's kind of funny that how the old you remember the old saying about video killing radio star?
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that's basically the equivalent, like YouTube is killing the television star.
Well, before YouTube even, there was already a parody Flash video, Internet killed the video star.
Right.
Like people just from the internet were already turning off their TVs.
Mm-hmm.
So YouTube just having nice video content that can be streamed, and the last great thing on TV, I think, was on demand, and that was just sort of proto-internet consumption.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess. I mean, some people would argue that.
You cut out again. After some people would argue that
there's been some good TV over the years.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, TV still has its relevance, but yeah, I do think that time goes on, it will slowly be consumed into everything's going to be streamed. Although that's a problem because I just read an article recently that Disney Plus is starting to remove some of their stuff. And
Oh yeah, that
it's-
Disney loves their fucking vault.
yes, once it's there, it will never be released again. Yes, that thing. So that's why the article that I gave you guys that I'm there for, where you guys were discussing about like why people still buy physical media, is because of that same reason.
Right.
So, it's very important for that because, like we mentioned this before in Live and Wired about like that Scream Factory was going to be losing license for some of their movies, and you need to get them while it's still around, otherwise the price is going to be stacked up and then it's going to become incredibly rare. So,
Pretty much.
yeah. So yeah, I guess let's see. We have about 15 minutes, so let's go over the next bit of YouTube news. And yeah, it's not a good one.
Oh, joy. Joy.
I know. I'll read this one though.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I
Okay, we come from critics slam study claims YouTube's algorithm doesn't lead to radicalization.
So people have been saying for a long time, oh, YouTube causes radicalization with its algorithm. There's a study that says, actually, no, it doesn't. And now people are just like, of course it does! Fucking great.
It was a slow YouTube day, people. I mean, that was all I could find.
Okay.
It was either that or discussing about like how, Ryan from Ryan's Toy Reviews is the #1 YouTuber making this amount of money for the one time.
Yeah,
which I'm not gonna
good
read.
for Ryan. I'm happy for him. I just hope he doesn't get sued into absolute abject poverty for the rest of his life by COPPA, and that's his whole life ruined. Because how dare you produce all this content targeted that is clearly aimed at kids?
Yeah, I went to Walmart the other day, and there is a Ryan toy box cereal.
Okay, that's it. I'm getting my gun.
Okay, let me look. A recent study that concluded YouTube's algorithm does not direct radical content drove the ire of experts over the weekend. The research claims no, I don't want to. I'm already reading through political stuff as it is. The research claims in the self-published study that as of late 2019, YouTube's recommendation algorithm appears to be designed to benefit mainstream and cable news content over independent YouTube creators. Ha! The study, which published last week and CNBC reported on, said that YouTube's algorithm favors left-leaning and politically neutral channels. I don't know anything about, so sure. However, online radicalization and technology experts cited several shortcomings in criticizing the study, which have not been peer-reviewed. While the co-authors of the study analyzed a large set of YouTube recommendations, they did so from the perspective of a user who was not logged in. That means that the recommendations were not based on previously viewed videos, and thus experts say failed to address the individual experience of the algorithm and the personal nature of online radicalization.
Well, if it's the algorithm causing it, then it wouldn't matter if you were logged in or not. It would lead you to that during the course of this.
I don't know. Okay, Zeynep Tufekci, associate professor at the University of North Carolina School of Information and Library Science, pointed out that experts would be able to do more productive research into the behavior of algorithms if companies opened up the privately held data to researchers. Could we do a proper study of, say, the behavior of recommendation algorithms without the participation of the company? Yeah, it would need to be a panel study, and it would be expensive. It's doable, but like any complex phenomenon, not cheap or simple. I mean, that's usually how it works. Becca Lewis, a media manipulation and political digital media researcher at Stanford and Data Society, emphasized the shortcomings of scientific research into the fantastic thread on why quantitative methods are often ill-suited to study radicalization on YouTube via the algorithm. So, yeah, basically, it goes down to the fact that they say algorithms to this. Research says no, it's not. That's basically what they're saying. So
yeah, but the idea that the first thing where the one person criticizing the study said, well, they weren't logged in. It's like it still recommends based on activity.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you have someone who has a long history that they have already watched hundreds of these videos, yeah, it's going to recommend that out to you. I don't think that's the algorithm radicalizing the guy who already chose to watch hundreds of those videos because they're like, yeah, that sounds interesting to me.
Pretty much.
I mean, if the not being logged in is the way to figure out if it would cause that. That's added to, that's part of the control thing.
I don't know. All right then.
It's like saying, no, this road will cause your tires to be worn down and blow out really fast, and so someone puts on new tires and pumps them up and makes sure they're fine, and then rolls up and down the road a bunch of times, sees what it does, and says, no, the road doesn't do that. And then someone else comes up and says, hey, you should have used old and shitty tires. See if it blows those out. It would have been the road causing it then. It's like, no, it doesn't work that way. Just because you didn't get the result you wanted doesn't mean that the study was flawed.
Right.
All right. Nicole7891 says, how many Decker fans get recommended Decker videos? Actually, YouTube has been recommending out my channel a bit more lately. It's a weird thing, because it did that purge at the end of November and beginning of December, where on one day it just said, hey, actually today you lost 400 subscribers. And then as a result, YouTube said, hey, your channel's not gaining nearly as many subscribers as it used to. We're going to stop recommending you out so much. And so things slowed down for most of December. And then the end of December comes, The end of December comes, and then it seems that YouTube keeps track of that in the 30-day chunk, because after that negative 400 day went bye-bye, and suddenly YouTube says, hey, your 30-day subscriber numbers just jumped up by 500. You're doing a lot better than before. We're going to start recommending you out everywhere. So even though, dusty room. Even though, God damn it. I'm old and dying. You
need some water.
Yes, I'll get some water.
Yes. Okay. So what basically what Decker's trying to say is that if we get decent amount of subscribers and views, then the channels would be recommended for people to like scroll in and saying, hey, you talked about this thing? Then hey, people would be interested in watching it. So I mean, I haven't had my videos recommended as far as I know. So I haven't had that experience yet. How about you, Chris?
I don't think mine have been recommended either.
Yeah, so I mean, we wouldn't know too much experience.
Right.
Oh, Lone Dragon asks, who has more videos that get copyright, Decker or Creepy? That's a good question.
I do have the benefit that they didn't delete my channel, so all the old ones that got blocked are still there. Whereas Creepy did get his whole channel nuked at one point, so I think technically if you count those as just permanently blocked and removed and can't do anything about, he probably wins out there.
Okay.
True. There's that.
But
anyway, so you channel recommendation.
Yeah, after that negative 400 day went away and was replaced by a plus 50 day, YouTube suddenly said, hey, you just making so many more subscribers all of a sudden. You must be doing something right. We're going to recommend your channel out more. And then suddenly the Poseidon Rex review got just recommended all across the board, went from getting something like 300 views every 2 days or less to like 6,000. They just recommended it out a ton, which got more subscribers, which is getting more recommended. Currently, it's on a bit of a downtick, but it's a slow downtick.
Okay.
And I'm just like, YouTube, I didn't even do anything. You blocked my Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom review. It's still not up yet. I haven't put out any actual content in a while, thanks to that. And in the meantime, channel's doing fucking wonderful. It's a good thing, too, because, January, AdSense always goes in the toilet. But because of that big boost of views, things are still looking okay.
Oh, Jesse Guajardo said, I had creepy videos recommended before I subscribed to his channel. Oh, well, that's great.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad.
Okay, so it's just me then. Not too surprising, since I don't actually have a lot of subscribers, so fair enough.
I feel that this is an injustice that needs to be corrected.
Let's sue YouTube.
Yes, let's do that. All right, I don't think there's really that much to talk about. I think that we can just, end a little early.
Right.
So, yeah, what is we all working on?
What do you got, Creepy?
I have the new gem review, which I was going to post tonight, but it looks like it'll be going up tomorrow, assuming it doesn't get blocked, of course. I have a DuckTales review coming soon. I got the dial Kindle. I just need to record my parts and then put it together.
Okay.
I have, and then after that, I think will be probably Batman, I think.
Okay.
So there's all of that to look forward to.
Sounds great. Let's see. I recently posted up my podcast up on Anchor, Spotify, Mixcloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I'm actually been doing that for the past 3 weeks now because I wanted to. I've been getting a ton of requests for me to post my podcast elsewhere other than YouTube. So I have Canadian voice actors Kathy Westlock and Andrew Francis on my podcast discussing about Cyber 6, which I actually did discuss about in my video a few months ago. On a new series I did called Heroic Gem or Junk. Speaking of which, that was actually the newest video I posted up a few days ago discussing about Super Santa because it's the holidays and, who wouldn't want to see Santa Claus as a superhero? So, yeah, there's that. And I do have a few other stuff coming up.
I'm just imagining now, like, the Grinch just looking over Whoville all pissed off, like, I have an evil, awful idea. And then Santa just swoops in and just starts beating the shit out of him. That's a very bad ending for that.
Yes. Yes, indeed. All right, so what do you got, Decker?
Got the next review coming. First review of the year, if the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom review doesn't get unblocked before this, would be Split. So
nice.
I'll finally have seen all of the Unbreakable Split in Glass, and not just Unbreakable in Glass, and being like, yeah, that's good enough. Though I still haven't reviewed Unbreakable. I just watched it a while ago. I never saw Split. So that's the next one coming up. Also, is actually do have content on the gaming channel again. Did a Space Engineers stream on Wednesday, and since then I've posted a little Medieval Engineers, and I've recorded several other things that are going to go up later. Another part of Medieval Engineers, just because I was having so much fun with it, as well as Destination Sol and Dead Space.
Nice.
So that's going to be going up on the gaming channel. I'm hoping to do some more streaming. Hopefully, Creepy, we can get together again to maybe actually finish EDF 5. That will be awesome.
That will be a thing that maybe, possibly happens at some point.
So, yeah, I got the new computer is going to help a lot. This is going to be the first review actually edited on it. The Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom review was done on the Surface, and boy, did it push it to its absolute limits. It is really, once I went 4K HDR, like that kind of stuff, and just trying to do the UHD movies in the with the Surface, that is where it just was like, yo, you know what, motherfucker, you tried really hard with this and you did a really good job up to this point, but this is not going to work. It is not going to work as well as it really should. So upgrade your shit. So that is what has happened with the new computer, which has resulted in the ability to game again. So yay. So that's about it. All I can think of right now.
Awesome.
Okay, then.
So, thank you all for joining us. I've been Decker Shadow.
I've been Patricia.
And I've been that long-haired creepy guy.
And remember, you're starving in the forest, you see a house made of gingerbread, maybe don't, because at worst it's a witch, and at best you're really hallucinating badly. Either way, it's not going.
You're doing drugs.
Right.
I'm doing drugs!